is Kincade and Salciunas.
I'm not trying to get people to turn on Bryce Harper. I love Bryce. When he was announced, I still gave him the standing ovation. It was great to see him back. But if we're talking big picture World Series or bust, I just wonder how people will react if he can't be himself because of a decision that he made and his team made during the offseason.
Even if Bryce Harper is not Bryce Harper, he's better than what you've been trotting out there, and he's still going to get that respect from opposing pitching staff. So it's a step in the right direction.
Kincade and Salciunas. John Kincade, Andrew Salciunas.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Better, and I'm going to play it very careful.
Yeah.
The doctor said they got me on steroids, so I'm going to just play it very carefully, not raise my voice. Last night did nothing to add to that, though.
No.
I will just tell you.
Yeah, you're on the Jose Alvarado treatment. So.
But with runners in scoring position, runners in stranded position.
Not before it turned into an 0 for 26, but yes, Otto Kemp with
The fact that they say one thing and they do another.
yeah.
What did Rob Thompson say after Monday night's game? Why Ryan Kerkering left the game?
Because they didn't want him to go his second inning, the up down and everything like that.
And they wanted him to be able to be available for game 2.
Yep.
So why are you asking Jordan Romano to get 5 outs when he has been an absolute disaster this year?
It was a bad decision.
O'Connor. Tomorrow is Wendy's Day here on Kincade and Salciunas. There's no Wendy's this morning. We're hungry. You're wanting to discuss world hunger today.
Yeah.
Instead of discussing how could we solve the problem of us being hungry just in this room. Last night's problem was Rob Thompson mismanaging his team. That was the problem. Do I agree with you 100%? If I could go 101, I would. I agree 101% that Rob Thompson he's being sent to a rock fight with a pea shooter most nights.
Yeah.
Last night he was not. Last night he was given a 3-1 lead going to the bottom of the ninth inning, and there was zero reason to go back to Jordan Romano. Zero. It was a stupid decision.
Yeah.
That's all on the manager. And nobody makes that decision. I guarantee you, all around town, I almost, because I knew you'd be awake, I almost wanted to pick up the phone and call and say, here's the lead tomorrow morning. Because I knew what was going to happen. He's not a 5-out save guy.
I know he's not.
He's a terrible relief. By standards of Major League Baseball, he's along the bottom half, if not terrible, closer, like type of guy.
Yeah, he has been this year.
Which is what Rob Thompson did. He does it all the time. He explains his decision-making process, and then he doesn't follow through. I want to do substitutions defensive substitutions with Nick Castellanos because it was a good decision. Oh, but then I stopped doing it because I got scolded, and I'm too scared to do it now. I got embarrassed. He told us he wanted to have Orion Kirkering available for Game 2. It's an exact quote. I'm not misquoting the man. And then he lets Jordan Romano blow the game for his team.
I understand that. But let's... inning. Right? That's the thing. Orion Kirkering aside, and you're not wrong, and I get it, and that's why this is a debate between Dave Dombrowski and Rob Thompson, because you can make that case, and there's very little about that I can fight you on. But what I can say is Romano's not going for a 5-out save if Daniel Robert was even remotely a...
Laid broken glass all over your driveway. You pull out over it, you get a flat tire, and Dave Dombrowski comes out to fix your tire and expects to be thanked for it. He had a bullpen that was fixed. He had an opportunity to be able to keep two closers right now that have almost 50 saves between them at the All-Star break. Almost 50. He could have kept one of them for $10 million. And instead, he decided, I'm smarter than everybody else on this. I got this. Stupid decision-making. So on the Pobo thing, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct on that. But last night, we got to go to the microcosm of, yes, you've been dealt a crappy hand, Rob Thompson.
Yeah.
But when you're dealt a crappy hand, I expect you to navigate the waters. And yes, Robert, are you kidding me?
Yeah, but
it's terrible.
He's been dealt the 2-7 offsuit.
Okay.
It's as crappy of a hand as you can get with a major league bullpen.
He's got to know.
He's got to be better.
The Jordan Romano thing is inexcusable. It's inexcusable to have him go out there in the ninth inning. And the broadcasters on the game, and I even switched over to the app to listen on the app to some of Fransky because I'm going, this can't be happening. Mm-hmm. They were surprised.
Yeah.
And the Phillies broadcasters always try to play company men to a good point, like try to be fair.
Right.
They were shocked.
I got you. And that's why it
was a disgrace.
That's why it's not just Dave Dombrowski needs to be better, right?
Correct.
This is a conversation between Rob Thompson and Dave Dombrowski.
It's a great way to look at it.
And I think a lot of people are going to be on your side, but I also think there are people out there that'll look at the bullpen situation, what happened this offseason and what hasn't happened yet this season, which is adding to it, and consider that. And you know what? If you want to hurl any extra digs at Jose Alvarado for also being a big reason you're in this situation, feel free to do that today because this bullpen situation is a mess. And it's also not being managed well. And that's why the Philadelphia Phillies lost last night's ballgame. So which side are you on? 610-632-0975. Do you blame Thompson more? Do you blame Dombrowski more for what's going on with the Philadelphia Phillies bullpen? And even specifically, last night's game. We'll continue talking about this coming up next. We'll get Brendan Gunn's thoughts as well, who's on the board today. It was a fun night of baseball, wasn't it, Johnny?
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
My goodness.
Like a colonoscopy.
At least
and I
it's a
know
day
all
game
about
today.
them.
At least they can lose by like 6 p.m. today instead of keeping us up late. It's Kincade Salciunas back after this here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Ray Dunn, Mike Missanelli.
You're giving 2 roster spots to 2 players who showed you last year their age. On a roster you said you wanted to get younger. They've gotten older.
You just got done telling me that they made a mistake. And he does the same thing. All right, I'm out. Done on the Sixers.
I got to tell you, Mike, when I got that notification yesterday that Lowry was re-signing, all I could think about was, I just can't wait to tee Mike up about this tomorrow.
Enough is enough now.
The Mike Missanelli Show. Weekdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Hey, it's Kenny Sargent with Speed Freaks, and are you still paying full price for gas? Well, stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use the limited time promo code CONNECT and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. Listeners are making $200 to $300 a year just from buying the gas they already needed. Don't wait. Download the free Upside app now and use the promo code CONNECT to redeem your 25 cent per gallon bonus. That's promo code CONNECT. Look, at first, I thought it was too good to be true, but it's totally legit. Plus, you can cash out anytime. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now using promo code CONNECT. That's promo code CONNECT to redeem your 25 cent per gallon bonus. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Making choices in the morning can be a bit much. I just want someone to say sausage or egg and cheese biscuit, sausage and cheese or egg and cheese English muffin, small seasoned potatoes, or medium hot coffee. Get 2 for only $3. At Wendy's, fresh made food means simple choices. Dare we say it's even a little fun? Okay, not like roller coaster fun. There's only so much we can do, people. When you want less thinky and more brekky in the morning, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only during breakfast hours. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo, single item, and regular price.
Hey, this is Andrew Salciunas.
I'm John Kincade. This is Mike Missanelli. Ricky Batalico here.
We've done some great work with businesses across the Delaware Valley.
Companies like Landis Block, Waste Management's Bagster, and Comcast Business. We only endorse businesses and products that we truly use and value. Think about the impact of hearing Fanatic personalities talking about your organization and driving customers to your company.
Go to 97.5thefanatic.com/advertise to learn more about how The Fanatic can help you market your products and services.
The real and inside story on Philly sports is here, and it's powered by Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com.
That's LundyLaw.com.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
This is Kincade Salciunas, Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic.
This hour of Kincade Salciunas is presented by Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White, they're here for the pro.
Oh, man. Phillies, what are you doing to us? A walk-off inside the park home run now? Are you kidding me? Like, that's just it. If it had just gotten out of the yard, right? It feels like it would have hurt 50% less, which makes no sense.
Or Brandon Marsh maybe doesn't run all the way over to look right up at the ball and doesn't overplay the ball.
I can't fault him because you see the replay, it catches the angled part on top of the wall up there.
He still overplayed that angle.
No, I got you, but you heard from a bunch of people after the game that they've never seen a kick like that in that ballpark. It just
reminded me of JT.
Yeah.
Against the Braves.
But the thing with the Phillies is that's the angled wall where you see it more often, and that one's easier to play off of because it's padded and there's no jutting out part of it. This one was just it was unbelievable. And it happens in baseball. I saw a video the other day of a ball getting hit up on top of the monster in Fenway and hit the top of the ladder they used to use to climb up and take some net down. So weird stuff happens all the time. But the fact that
It was a moonshot.
yeah, the fact that the Phillies are in this stretch that they're in offensively, and they finally feel like, okay, we might have had a spark here with the Kyle Schwarber home run in the 7th inning. Now you just got 6 outs to get without giving up this 2-run lead. And then to have that happen in a late-night game, just everything that compiles onto it made last night a miserable baseball experience when it was all said and done.
So now think of it this way. If you have a kid who is going to move into their college dorm in a few weeks, they have never seen the Phillies win a series in San Francisco since they were getting ready to go into first grade.
Yeah. That's a long, long time.
I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, you know what? I'll have to
That's
tell you
wild.
later on in the show the theory that I trotted out yesterday as to why that could be the case. But first, I want to get Brendan Gunn's thoughts on this Dave Dombrowski versus Rob Thompson thing. Again, neither of these parties are faultless. So it's not like John or I are saying, no, like Dombrowski did nothing wrong, it's all Thompson, or Thompson did nothing wrong, it's all Dombrowski. There are multiple issues with this team right now, but Gunnar, whose side do you fall more on, or what are your just thoughts?
I mean, bigger picture, it has to be on Dombrowski. I mean, you look at these issues that everybody sees are clear as day right now, and a lot of them we thought were clear as day going into the season. You let Hoffman go. You let Estevez go. You didn't get a right-handed bat when you needed a right-handed bat. You bring in Max Kepler to platoon in left field. It's just stuff that everybody knew going into the season, and we're sitting here like, oh, I wonder who could have thought of that. If only the Pobo could have thought of that. I don't know why he didn't. Now we're sitting where we are. Still a good baseball team that probably would have a better shot to win it if he just nailed down a bullpen arm and a left fielder with a right-handed bat before the season. You'd be in a lot better spot.
Yeah, I don't really understand the thought process of not signing one of those guys because you don't have a cash-strapped owner.
Which one did you want? I don't remember because I wanted Estevez.
I wanted both, if I'm being honest with you, but that was greedy.
I knew we weren't going to get both but I thought you were going to get a right-handed bat at around $10 million.
Yeah.
Like I thought you were going to get like one of those 1 or 2 year guys at like 10, 12 million for a right-handed bat. So I figured, okay, you got to lose one of those high-price relievers.
Right.
And I wanted Estevez, and I wanted Hoffman. I would be like Hoffman to go, and maybe part of that was the Mets bias.
Yeah.
That series bias, because he was terrible. And that was recency bias.
What I think it was, right? And I had this theory at the time when Hoffman ended up signing with Toronto and the Phillies were comfortable. Now, part of it might have been the medicals, multiple physicals rejected by other teams. So that one you do have to question a little bit. But I also think it's this, I think it was almost cocky by the Phillies because of how they found Jeff Hoffman, right? They had a guy that was just throwing live at-bats to Bryce Harper that was kind of a nobody in the terms of Major League Baseball at that point, even though he had pitched at the Major League level before, and the Phillies turned him into a all-star caliber reliever. Also, they found Orion Kerkering and developed him from single-A ball to pitching in the NLCS the same year. So I think the Phillies looked at it and said, yeah, we could pay Jeff Hoffman, or we could make Jeff Hoffman at home. And it turns out when you drive by the restaurant that the kid wants to go to and then you go home and your parents say we have food at home, the food at home's never quite as good as stopping by the restaurant. So that's kind of where the Phillies feel like they're at to me right now. But
That's
Rob
a good
Thompson
analogy.
needs to be a better chef in the kitchen, whether the food's better at home or not. So there are reasons on both sides of this. Now, John, you were out yesterday. But Brendan and I had a very interesting conversation, hotly debated, as to one trade deadline move if you were forced into just one. And Gunnar, I'm sorry, buddy, but I got to take you to task today after what you said yesterday. We'll see which side John is on coming up next. It's Kincade and Salciunas reacting to that awful end to the Phillies game last night here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Well, I've never seen a loss like that before. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies dropped the second game of their 3-game series to the San Francisco Giants last night by a score of 4-3. The team entered the ninth inning with a 3-1 lead, but then came a couple of hits and then a walk-off inside the park. 3-run home run by Patrick Bailey of the Giants on a crazy bounce off the right center field wall. The Phillies look to bounce back from that wild loss this afternoon in the final game of their series against the Giants. Jesus Luzardo's on the mound this afternoon. afternoon. First pitch is at 3:45. The Sixers continued their Summer League action last night with a 91-90 win over the Memphis Grizzlies Summer League team. Sixers first-round pick VJ Edgecombe was held out of a second straight game last night, still battling that thumb contusion. Summer League action continues for the Sixers this Saturday night against the Charlotte Hornets. And don't look now, Eagles fans, we're now just 13 days away from the Birds reporting to training camp on July 22nd. This update was brought to you by AAA Tire and Auto Service. Save up to $30 on auto repair with AAA Triple Play only at AAA Tire and Auto Service. Offer valid through July 31st. Details at AAA.com/mycar. I'm Brendan Gunn on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Vacation? Business trip? Don't worry. You can still hear all your favorite Fanatic shows no matter where you go. The 97.5 The Fanatic app. Philly sports in the palm of your hand. Listen to our 24/7 live stream. Get up to the minute Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, Flyers, and Union commentary.
Head to Google Play or the Apple App Store now and download our free app.
Guys, like I did with my friend Brendan Gunn a few months back, I don't want you to overpay for a diamond. I want you to go to Benari Jewelers when you're looking to get engaged, because this isn't like buying sporting goods or a big screen TV. You got to know you're buying from the experts, so don't risk it. Don't end up with an overpriced, cloudy, inferior diamond when you can go to Benari Jewelers, go to the nicer showroom, deal with the experts, and you're not walking through the mall, heading into Foot Locker, and then rolling into Benari, and you can just roll over to a better store across the street where you're not you're getting better personalized treatment, and that's what I love about it. Don't shop at malls. Don't shop at the one-off. Shop with the experts. Benari Jewelers in Exton, Newtown Square is going to make you feel like a part of the family. And when you're looking at diamonds and hundreds of diamonds at Benari, realize this: each diamond they've got, it had to pass the muster. Like 5 or 6 diamonds out of 100 maybe make the cut to end up in their showcases. So they're going to make sure you get a special diamond with a special brilliance that gives her exactly the ring that she deserves. You don't have to be a diamond expert to shop at Benari. But once you leave, you'll feel like one. I always tell you, if the question you're ready to pop is, do you want to marry me? She's going to love it when you pick Benari. Exton and Newtown Square. Check out Benari Jewelers on the web.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
4th of July savings are here at the Home Depot, so it's time to get your grilling on. Pick up the Traeger Pro Series 22 pellet grill and smoker, now on special buy for $389, was $549. Smoke a rack of ribs or bake an apple pie. This grill is versatile enough to do it all. This summer, no matter how you like your steaks, your barbecues are guaranteed to be well done. Celebrate 4th of July with fast free delivery on select grills right now at the Home Depot. Subject to availability.
Summer's heating up, and Wild Fork is your go-to for backyard cookouts and summer meals on the grill. Get grilling essentials like the hamburger bundle. That's 10 patties for just $10, or pick up hot dogs and sausages starting at $4 per pound. Go big with a beef tomahawk steak, only $13.98 per pound, or grab whole pork spare ribs for just $1.98 a pound. And don't miss Wild Fork's new kebabs, seasoned and ready for the grill. Shop in-store or online at wildforkfoods.com.
Unfiltered. Silvana Kelleher, Ricky Bowe, Bill Colarulo. Bold, passionate, and unapologetic conversation for the Philly sports fan. Weekdays at 2 p.m. Philadelphia's source for breaking sports news. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. Coming up at 10, Mike Missanelli. This is Philadelphia Sports Talk with Kincade and Salciunas. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Back live with you here. I'm Connor Thomas filling in for Andrew Salciunas. John Kincade back with us today as his voice recovers. Good to have you back, Johnny.
Slowly recovering.
And we got into a conversation yesterday, Brendan and I did, to lead off the show.
I heard some of the show.
Gave a little bit of a Sophie's choice. If you could only acquire one player at the deadline, an impact right-handed bat or an impact back-end reliever, which would it be? And
did you get now give me a little heads up because this is not the part of the show I heard.
Yeah.
Did you each have a separate answer on this?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Because I have one that I don't even think it's a question.
And where would you fall on this conversation?
Back end of the bullpen, dominant arm.
I knew I loved you, Johnny.
Wow, I love you both. I love both the children.
Well, you might not after what Brendan Gunn said yesterday.
What did he say?
I mean, it wasn't.
I want to hear about it.
Too bad. But Brendan was strongly in favor of the impact righty bat. And there were points, man, where you were like, I understand the bullpen needs.
You need both.
Right.
You do need both.
But if you
obviously.
only had, but the Sophie's Choices, you only have one. And I bet you, I'm not sure at Strathaven they made you read Sophie's Choice. The talented Jack McGuire at O'Hara, one of my favorite teachers of all time, made us read Sophie's Choice. And so I read it. It was a great book, great novel. And you have to make one choice. You gotta do it. That's why Sophie had to make the choice.
The issue where I was laying on it was I don't know if you can walk that tight lines, night in and night out, scoring 3 runs and relying on the one bullpen arm, night in and night out. I'd rather get a power bat from the right-hand side in a perfect world. He goes out there. He doesn't succumb to that snowball effect. The rest of the lineup goes down. Maybe he's the shining North Star light, and the rest of the lineup says, oh, you know what? This guy's not going to shy away. The rest of the lineup then sees him and doesn't go away in the postseason, like when the rest of them get cold and they all think the pressure's on them.
What if you had a guy you knew that I could tell you in October, 4 out of 6 games you could go to him, and I could guarantee you he's going to get you 4 outs. He's going to get you 3 outs.
I thought I had 3 of them last year, and they couldn't do it.
Well, I know, but what if he can get one now?
What if he can? Yeah,
he can get you one of those guys now, and with this starting pitching, I'm thinking they can get me 18 outs.
Yeah, I mean,
then I got 3 more.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to get me to 21.
Yeah.
And then I just got to cross my fingers I can find 6 more.
And 18 might be underselling what this starting rotation could do.
Yeah, it might be. So that's why I have to go that way.
Because like last night was the prime example. You had runners on base in big spots for your big guys earlier on in the game. Schwarber strikes out, Harper gets out, right? Like, so runners on second and third, and you've got to get a run in there, and they do not, which is part of the issues with this team. But they're not moving in the lineup, whether you acquire a strong right-handed bat or not. So if those guys don't hit, they're not going anywhere.
Otto Kemp broke the streak. Not Schwarber.
And a nice play left.
Not Harper. Not Castellanos. Not Turner. It's Otto freaking Kemp.
Right.
I mean, seriously.
So they need that help, but like one right-handed bat fits in that lineup. And last night, maybe they score 4. Maybe they score 5. Remember,
that's a win. That's a win.
No, it's not.
Not necessarily.
They did not get the final
out. The bases are cleared after that.
Oh, yeah. No, you feel good about the bases cleared because who are you going to then? Who's left in the bullpen? Look at some of the names.
Weston Wilson again.
Oh, my God, dude. This is the point. The bullpen is terrible. The lineup is streaky. Do you know what goes on in that lineup? They've got superstar talent, all right? They don't always hit like superstar talent, but those names exist for the Philadelphia Phillies in the batting order. Do you know what exists in the bullpen? A guy who's been an all-star before, a guy who's currently suspended who can't pitch in the postseason, a guy that is still young trying to figure it out at the major league level, and God knows what Matt Strahm is.
The way I'm looking at it, though, is right now I think you need a high-end bullpen arm and probably a second one that you can rely on in the 6th or 7th inning because right now you don't have anybody for the most part.
Well, you're getting Alvarado back in 5 weeks. And no, you're going to get 6 weeks out of him. You're going to get him back for 6 weeks. You get him back in, I think, 5 weeks. You get him back, though, for 6 weeks of baseball, the final 6 weeks. And I really believe that's why they will not invest in going and getting a second big arm. They'll go and get one big one one journeyman type,
Yeah.
and then they'll try to find a bargain basement bat. So I understand your frustration with the bargain basement bat, but with the bats that they've already invested in, it's ridiculous. And that's why I made the case on Monday before the voice went out that this team cannot win a World Series, cannot do what they're talking about doing if Bryce Harper is a slap singles hitter.
Yeah.
And that's what he is. He's hurt. I admire him gutting it out. I love Bryce Harper. Love what he's done for the organization. But the mismanagement of this thing it's been a joke. It's been a joke.
Yeah.
And it's terrible.
No, I get where you're at there, man. I just I can't look at this lineup and can't look at the and also look at this bullpen and put them anywhere close in situation. Right? This bullpen on nights verges on unusable.
Oh, I agree with you there.
Now, Taijuan Walker didn't look very useless last night as a guy who started the game.
And I'm a Taijuan Walker. Like, it's weird. It's like I'm a supporter of saying Taijuan Walker has exceeded expectations this year.
I agree with you.
Because he's been constantly he's exceeded because the expectations were so low.
It would have been hard not to.
But the thing is, he has not been atrocious.
No.
And 2/3 of his starts, he has been much more than adequate.
Yeah.
So, to me, that is a guy who doesn't deserve the ridicule that he's gotten this year.
No, I got no issue with him being on the team.
His whole body of work as a Philly, yes, he does. This year, he's sort of, told people, I've been better than what's expected.
Yeah, he's been pretty darn solid. His ERA.
It feels weird not to be able to even inflect or yell or whatever. But Doc took care of me the other day. Thanks, Doc. And he's a listener to the show, and he just said, let's keep the voice down.
So
my wife has enjoyed the peace and quiet.
Oh, I'm sure.
She really enjoyed it.
Now she's on a little trip too. So
she's off to Toronto this morning. She's off driving to Toronto, and she's like, she had like two days of peace and quiet, and then she gets to go to Toronto.
Big Jamaican presence up there in Toronto, right?
Huge.
Yeah.
Well, she has two siblings up there, so that are in Jamaica. The Jamaicans up in Toronto. A lot of Jamaicans in Toronto.
Let me ask you this though about that bullpen and relief pitcher question we posed. Both ways, you only add one. You're walking a tightrope. Like, in my mind, the rest of the bullpen is not good enough as is, so I need the lineup to be mashers. I think you can walk that tightrope a little bit easier with a bunch of mashers in the lineup. You add another one, and then that starting rotation, and then you just got to hope the bullpen can string it together. You don't add anybody to that lineup, then you hope the starting rotation goes 7 innings. You get, I don't know, a closer out of a Kirkring and then Strom on most nights.
You already know you
that's
don't.
it.
But you already know that the lineup's not mashers.
Well,
this lineup is declining. This lineup has declined. They're a declining asset. They have at least 3 guys in the lineup almost every single night that are not performing.
Well, you've seen them string together games where it's like 12 hits in a row, 12 hits in a row.
You're not going to do that,
hits.
and then they go pathetic.
But we've also seen this
games.
team 2 separate seasons be the best team in baseball for 2 months at a time. Can they just do it for a month in October?
They can't do it in October because they've shown us that, because they can do it for 2 weeks at a time in October or 3 weeks at a time in October, but they can't do it for the entirety because they're always going to retreat to what they are.
I get
when they're
it,
going
yeah.
up against the best pitching in baseball.
I think it's going to be an uphill battle. But I'm talking about walking that tightrope, doing a backflip, landing, doing it. And what's the best way to do that?
I understand. But where I will go back to is that this lineup can get you 3 to 4 runs a night. And this starting rotation, if you throw your top 3 or maybe 4 guys, depending on what Jesus Luzardo you're going to get on any given day, and we'll see today as he goes in this series finale what type of Luzardo we get against, you see who's throwing for San Francisco? The corpse of Justin Verlander will be on the mound.
And the Phillies always should be able to hit Justin Verlander.
What about the corpse of young Justin Verlander down in AAA?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how that goes. But my point is this, right? Like, when you look at it, this lineup can go get you 3 or 4 runs. And I believe that this rotation can get you 6 or 7 of 1 or 2 earned ball. And then you just have to have 3 or 4 bullpen arms that you can get through the postseason with. And this lineup is capable of doing that. Now, you could have I'll ask you this right now, Brendan. You go get your right-handed bat, and he gives you a 3-run lead going into the 9th inning of a postseason game against the Dodgers. And this is your bullpen. Do you win that game?
You gotta hope.
Wait a minute, whoa.
3-run
Is the
lead.
bullpen fully loaded that you're going to in the ninth inning, or who do you?
That's Strom owns
Who's
them.
available?
Romano, Strom, Kirkring.
Oh yeah,
You're winning.
You tell
that
me
game.
Strom and Kirkring. Yeah, I feel good.
I don't feel great about it.
No, I didn't. No, I don't feel great about it.
I feel a lot
but
better.
I feel as long as I'm not having to go to Romano. Yes, if I have Strom and Kirkring available, I'm feeling good.
Well, Romano's right now is part of the equation, and he's got to be.
Yeah, but I'm
because-
not going to him in a 4-1 game against the Dodgers. In a playoff series, I'm not going to Romano.
I don't
in
want
that
to,
situation.
but that's why I need another big-time bullpen arm
agree with
because
you. No, I agree with
Kirkring
you.
is young and shaky at points, and Strom has had rough patches in the season, and he doesn't exactly have this blow-you-away stuff. Like, Romano's your hardest-throwing reliever right now on this team, I believe.
Yeah, the ball goes out really quickly when he throws it.
I mean, listen, though.
Moon shots.
You got to have plus arms in bullpens in the year 2025, and the Phillies don't have it, and that's why they need that. They have plus bats, all right? They got a DH in the damn All-Star game. They got Bryce Harper, who we'll see what he is. They've got
He's
a guy,
not a plus bat
They've
anymore.
got a guy leading the National League in hits. They have the lineup. They need the bullpen. I will die on this damn hill, and there's nothing you can do to stop me, Brendan. All right, coming up next, we're going to get into a conversation that Johnny wants to have on this idea of basing failures of previous last two seasons and separating them.
It's something that you said.
I brought this up that it's easier for me to separate the seasons. I don't necessarily carry over what happened last year to this year. At least not the same way that the fan base seems to do. So we will talk about that coming up next, and we will hear from you on the phone line and text line for the first time this morning on your reaction to that Phillies game last night and the conversation we've been having on the Dave Dombrowski versus Rob Thompson conversation. It's Kincade and Salciunas back after this here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
We want to hear from you. So text us at 610-632-0975.
You text every day, so why not text us? Your opinion matters. Shoot us a text at 610-632-0975. Don't want to call? You can always text us. You've got our direct line, so text us anytime. On a plane? Text us. On a train? Text us.
At the game, text us.
Driving a car? Yeah, pull over then text us. In a bar? Text us. 610-632-0975.
97.5 The Fanatic. You know, my friends Dan White and Associates, they've been in business for over 38 years. What does that mean? Well, they specialize in retirement and financial planning. But when you've been around for almost 4 decades, it means that you understand your business. And it means that people keep coming back to you because they trust you. You know what they're finding now is that fathers are now sending their sons and mothers are now sending their daughters to get the same kind of education that they got over the years. And maybe it started with financial planning, and then it became retirement planning. They host educational seminars throughout Pennsylvania, Delaware, and even Maryland. And they've got offices in Glen Mills, PA, that's one I went to, Middletown, Delaware, and Lewis, Delaware. And they're going to offer you a complimentary no-risk consultation. It's really simple. You go in, you find out about everything you need to find out about. And I know that money conversations, especially about your future, can be very, very intimidating. You may think you've done a lot of things wrong to this point, and you don't want to hear how bad that mountain may be to climb. But I honestly will tell you, when you have the conversation, I think you're going to find a peace of mind because these people know what they're doing. Dan White & Associates offers you a complimentary, no-risk consultation. Why don't you go in and do it? Go danwhiteandassociates.com. Don't worry about writing down the phone number. You'll find it on the website. Go to danwhiteandassociates.com. I trust these people. They're really good to you. And I promise you, you'll feel better after that conversation.
My dad, Len, always says, the minute you get in a rideshare, buckle up.
And my son Jordan always says, the minute you get in a rideshare accident, first seek medical attention and then call us. This is Len Lundy.
And I'm Jordan Lundy of Lundy Law. My dad and I hope we'll never meet you because of an accident, but if we do, we're here for you.
Remember our name, Lundy Law. Your injury lawyers.
Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit lundylaw.com.
Skip the candlelight pasta and do date night differently. F1 Arcade is part upscale bar, part off-the-track racing experience. You and your date can grab craft cocktails, order shareable plates, and then hop into a simulator and see who really drives the relationship. Fast tracks, good vibes, and even better company? Win or lose, you're both in for an unforgettable night. Visit F1 Arcade, located at 1330 Chestnut Street in Center City, or book your experience now at f1arcade.com.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, this is Andrew Salciunas.
I'm John Kincade.
This is Mike Missanelli.
Ricky Batalico here.
We've done some great work with businesses across the Delaware Valley.
Companies like Landis Block, Waste Management's Bagster, and Comcast Business.
We only endorse businesses and products that we truly use and value.
Think about the impact of hearing fanatic personalities talking about your organization and driving customers to your company.
Go to 975thefanatic.com/advertise to learn more about how The Fanatic can help you market your products and services. Now's the perfect time to sign up for the MVP newsletter. Receive content specifically tailored to you. Get chances to win exclusive contests. Catch up with on-demand segments from Kincade and Salciunas, The Mike Missanelli Show, and Unfiltered.
What are you waiting for? Head to 975thefanatic.com/newsletter to subscribe now.
This is Kincade and Salciunas, Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Let's see what the people have to say. We've been yapping a bunch on this Phillies conversation, what went on last night, and what the underlying problems are of the type of performance you see. The Phillies lose last night on a walk-off inside the park home run out in San Francisco. Stop me if you've heard that one before. My goodness. And we had to sit here and listen because when we prep, we sit out behind where the studio is. We have our computers out there, and we can hear the ESPN overnight audio. And, of course, it's a wild way to win a ball game, so they had to play the cut like 50 times while we're sitting out there, so we're just hearing it every 10 minutes. It's like, man, come on, dude. We get it. It happened. It was nuts, but it sucks when it's at your expense. It sucks when it's at the expense of your bullpen. Now, is it more the mismanagement of the bullpen by the manager, or is it more the lack of availability of true major league arms for the back end that the president of baseball operations left you with by not re-signing Jeff Hoffman, Carlos Estevez, not having the proper stuff in the minor leagues? That's a question that we're asking you to answer today at 610-632-0975. Do you blame more Dombrowski or Thompson? And what do we have on the text line, Brendan?
Yeah, we got Chris in the Northeast checking in, saying at the end of the season, both Dombrowski and Thompson have to go. Dombrowski letting go of both Estevez and Hoffman together, along with thinking Kepler was good enough, were fireable offenses in and of itself this offseason. Start over with the next wave of young prospects and move these pencil-pushing single bats like Bohm and Stott out of Philly. I am not A-OK.
Whoa. Why is Bohm getting thrown in there? Alec Bohm has arguably been their best hitter for 2 months. Him and Trey Turner.
Because he doesn't hit for power. That's what he's saying.
Okay. They got bigger problems right now than him not hitting for power.
Yes, they do.
At least he's hitting.
Yeah, right?
Trey Turner and Alec Bohm should not be mentioned in any kind of besmirching of this offense.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. Those are your guys.
Now, Trey Turner continuing to field balls like grenades is another one. But that's a whole other issue altogether. But it's fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, that also is very, very low down on the list.
Yes.
Right
now, it's not been costing them.
No.
It's not what cost them. As far as this bullpen is so glaring,
right?
It makes all these other issues be like, you shouldn't even bring them up.
No, exactly. Like, this is what real problems look like. So when people worry about, like, I don't know, there are certain things that'll tick you off night to night. Like base running is a thing for the Phillies. Absolutely. And they had it last night.
Hey, how'd you like stealing third?
I hated that.
What the hell is that?
I don't know, man.
What's goes this team? What goes on with it, Connor?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, what the?
But that, like, at the end of the day.
Voice down.
At the end of the day, you did enough to overcome that to the point where you should have won that baseball game.
Why do you have to overcome stupidity?
I understand, but it can be overcome.
Yeah, but they have to.
Most nights you can't overcome this bullpen if you're going to have those guys out there. That's what I'm saying.
But if you've got a bullpen like that, why are you doing all the other stupid stuff to make it harder to win games? This team base running, and I've been saying it now for years, that Rob Thompson, he's substitute teacher. There's no accountability. The same stuff goes on night after night on the base paths, stupid decisions, and nothing gets done about it. No one's held accountable. Nothing gets done about it, and it keeps happening. You can't do all the other stupid stuff if your bullpen is this bad.
Yeah.
You can't.
I got you, but it's part of baseball. They're going to make other mistakes. And I'm not saying that
it's not part of baseball for every team.
I mean,
it's not.
I watched a video just this morning of Shohei Ohtani getting thrown out by a mile at home because there was a ground ball hit directly to the third baseman with the corners in. Like, it happens to other teams, to other great players. Now, it gets exacerbated by the Phillies not having a major league bullpen.
Or them doing it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And
I excuse it. If it happened occasionally, I excuse it.
Right, I feel you.
You know? I mean, it's different.
Just the base running's not even on the radar right now.
Because of all the other issues.
We've got slop coming out of the bullpen every night where you have to throw a guy where you hold your breath every single time they deliver a pitch. That's not the quality of a team that should be competing for the World Series. Now, what I will contend with that texter on is it's too early to say Rob Thompson and Dave Dombrowski have to be gone after this year, right? That is a post-July 31st conversation for Dave Dombrowski. I know he caused the problems that we're in, but if he goes out and he handles the trade deadline, like this is a guy who's won multiple World Series. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like we're hoping and dreaming that Matt Klentak will figure out a trade deadline to put the Phillies in the World Series contention. It is still Dave Dombrowski. Now, if he screws up the trade deadline and doesn't do enough, I'm totally fine with him going.
And you do realize, though, when I hear the Matt Klentak stuff, and I hear anything about these other GMs that were before him, before Dave Dombrowski, you realize that Dave Dombrowski, what has he come in here and done? He's had an open checkbook.
Well, yeah, I got you.
What do you think Matt Klentak could have done with Dave Dombrowski's checkbook? Do you think Matt Klentak
paid Scott Kingery more?
Do you think Matt Klentak maybe could still be in his job?
No, absolutely not. That guy had no clue what he was doing.
You don't think Matt Klentak could have signed a Bryce Harper?
He did.
He did. And
no, but I mean a Trey Turner. Trey Turners, things like that.
Sure.
They could do all these things.
No, he
it's all signing. I mean, it's just signing players doesn't mean. I think Dave Dombrowski's made more bad decisions than good.
Yeah, but there's more to. I don't want to get into the weeds of president of baseball operations, but Matt Klentak,
you were making the argument between the two.
Klentak screwed the farm system. Like he demolished it. There was nothing until Dave Dombrowski retooled it. Now you have Abel, Painter, Miller, Crawford. These guys that you can use to move on. You've had guys come up. Like that's Dave Dombrowski's retooling.
I would tell you that Preston Mattingly is a bigger reason for that than any of the people you mentioned.
Yeah, Preston Mattingly's.
They hired somebody, and he gets credit for that.
Yes,
he gets credit for hiring a really good guy to do it. But Preston Mattingly around baseball circles is the one who is getting most of the credit for that.
Yeah,
as far as people looking at it, going, Mattingly's going to be running his own team soon, so they better hustle.
Yeah, I just balk at the idea that these guys are already gone, which is what that texter sounded like they were saying. Like it's still July now. Are they trending in a direction?
I can't do another year of Rob Thompson.
Well,
if this team doesn't go further than last year, I cannot do another year of it.
That's the thing. There's an if in there. I'm with you.
Right.
If they regress again or if they go out in the divisional series,
I can't do
I'm
another year.
I'm not going to defend him.
Okay, good. Because we have a lot of guys in the local media here, radio, television, print, that I swear to you, I got to do a lineage study.
Yeah, but
their Thompson is in their family name. They will somehow defend him today.
Yeah, but
in the last two nights, after he sat there the other night, I heard you guys yesterday, he was freaking comatose on Monday night. That was inexcusable. The man has had a terrible series the last two nights, and you'll still have his defenders out there, in print and on the air, defending him as if he's. I want to hear what Mikey Miss has to say today, because I heard him yesterday being critical, and that Mike's always accountable. I want to hear him today again, because he defends Rob Thompson a lot. Rob Thompson has been asleep at the wheel.
I was critical of him yesterday.
I know
just
you were.
Don't think it's fair to say this has to be the last year when it's July.
Well, I'm just saying is if they don't go further.
If is fine.
I'm fine.
Definitive is wrong at this point.
Correct. We don't know how that's going to be.
Overreaction to a loss in July against the Giants, which sucked.
They are in first place this morning.
Tied 4.
Yes.
So
they're there.
I think they have. Do they have the tiebreaker? No, they do not.
No, they do not.
Yeah. So
not yet.
Long way to go, folks. Okay, coming up next. My bad, we didn't get into this separate seasons thing. That's all right. We were reacting to the text line, hearing from the people. But separating Philly seasons, why we can or why we can't. John and I will debate it coming up next year on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Walk-off heartbreak for the Phils. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies dropped the second game of their three-game series to the San Francisco Giants last night by a score of 4-3. The team entered the ninth inning with a 3-1 lead, but then came a couple of hits from the Giants and then a walk-off inside the park. 3-run home run from Patrick Bailey of the Giants on a crazy bounce off the right center field wall. The Phils look to bounce back, no pun intended, today from that wild loss this afternoon in the final game of their series against the Giants. Jesus Luzardo's on the mound this afternoon. First pitch is at 3:45. The Sixers continued their Summer League action last night with the 91-90 win over the Memphis Grizzlies Summer League squad. Sixers first-round pick VJ Edgecombe was held out of a second straight game, though, with that thumb contusion that he's battling. Summer League action continues this Saturday for the Sixers against the Charlotte Hornets summer squad. And don't look now, Eagles fans, we're now just 13 days away, less than 2 weeks away, from the Birds reporting to training camp on July 22nd. This update was brought to you by AAA Tire and Auto Service. Save up to $30 on auto repair with AAA Triple Play, only at AAA Tire and Auto Service. Offer valid through July 31st. Details at AAA.com/mycar. I'm Brendan Gunn on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philadelphia sports.
Touchdown! Saquon Barkley! Into the second deck, Bryce Harper! Shoots! He scores! That game meets the Magic Man! Mike outside of the beauty! Back wall play!
It's in the air, and it's good. Ring the bell. The best city.
Back home in Philly. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys.
The best fans. The best sports talk is right here. 97.5 The Fanatic.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures, until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive, so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
What's the best place to shop this summer? Macy's. It's our first ever Star Deals Week. 6 full days of store-wide savings on everything you want. From shorts and swim to fine jewelry, all up to 50% off. Plus, home updates from Hotel Collection, Green Pan, and more, up to 60% off. Not only that, shop Macy's.com for new flash deals every day that everyone will love. No membership required. So don't miss Star Deals Week and Sunday at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
This is Kincade and Salciunas, Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic.
So let's get into this conversation about separating Phillies seasons, because Johnny wanted to bring this up about something that I said.
Yeah, I wrote it down when you said it the other day.
And I know, like, leading into this conversation, I will say this. I know this is easier for me than it is for the average fan, so I may have an unpopular opinion on this, but Johnny, if you want to lay it out.
Explain where you said, first of all, on being able to separate seasons. I think that's probably a better way to start, because I shouldn't be explaining how you feel about it.
Right.
I should react to how you feel about it.
So every year in any sport, at the professional level, you will see players on different teams. It's not always a Philadelphia team, but there will be guys all the time. First-time Pro Bowler, first-time All-Star, play well above their water weight, breakout seasons. Whether
we
it's
saw it last year with the Eagles.
Yeah, whether it's a player coming up for the first time at the major league level or making their debut in another league, things will pop up year to year where guys that previously existed that you thought were one thing prove they're something else. So until you get enough data in a season to say whether or not that's happening, things can be different even though the roster looks similar. And the other thing that I point to is we're very pinhole focused here in Philadelphia on our teams. I think often when we deal with the problems with our organizations, we don't do enough looking around at the other teams in those leagues. Like, okay, we have this problem. How many teams are experiencing the same or similar problems? Because they may seem bigger than they actually are. If the Phillies had this bullpen that couldn't get anybody out, and then you look around baseball, and every bullpen had like a 5 ERA. And that is not the case. I'm not saying that. No, the bullpen stinks. But it would feel bad in the moment, and then you look around, and you're like, well, we're actually on an even playing field with everybody else. So the league also changes around you. Teams that might have been formidable last year may have taken major steps back in the offseason. Could be in your division, could be in your league or conference, depending on the sport. So when I see the same roster and people get annoyed about the run it back and it's going to be the same thing and the same stuff is happening, I think there's more to the conversation than some people are willing to have when it comes to players that we may think we know what they are and we don't, or things happening around the team that are not necessarily carrying over from season to season.
I think you've stated it well, and I almost don't disagree with anything that you just said. So the way you put it, I don't disagree with anything that you stated. What I do disagree with, though, is what you left out. Mm-hmm. And what you left out is context. The context is this. We have so much context with this Phillies roster. We know what they are. We know what they are under pressure in October. We know what they are down when they face great pitching for 2 and 3 weeks at a time. We know that they're going to have runs where they look really, really strong and they can dominate a team. Look what they've done to the Braves. There's no doubt in my mind, if somehow Atlanta made the playoffs again, that the Phillies could crank it up and go out there and kick their backsides again like they did. But I also know that it's not going to last with this group the way that it's currently set up. I do not believe they're going to put together 3 different series where they're going to be able to do it, because they've shown me that that's not who they are. So context, I understand what you're saying, but without context of understanding that I know who these guys are, I don't believe there's any reason why anybody should be more confident about the 2025 Phillies than they were. Then I think you should have less confidence than you had last year at this time.
I agree.
And I think you should have less confidence than you had in 2023.
Now, this is where I'll contend. And the record is not a complete data set, right?
No, it's not. No, because we saw the Mets, who were barely 500 this date last year. They were I think they just hit 500 right around this date.
But what I will say is the Phillies have played 92 baseball games this year, as of last night. And I wish we could wipe out that last one.
And they are, as we pointed out the other day, they're now 19 and 21 in their last 40.
52 and 39 overall, if I have that correct. Last year, they were pacing better than this. They were at 60 wins through 92 games. We know they had an incredible start to the season last year. The first half was great, and then the collapse came. But this year's team based on win total, is outpacing the 2023 team, the 2022 team, the 2008 World Series winning team, the 1980 World Series winning team through 92 games.
Correct.
So they are better win total wise than the 23 team and the 22 team who went to the NLCS and the World Series.
Do you feel this team is? Would you rather have the 2008 Phillies?
Oh, absolutely. But
2009 Phillies?
But that's
like, I mean,
yeah.
again, context.
Well, I understand.
I don't care that they're outpacing them. There's more bad teams now too. There's more bad teams in baseball.
I don't know if that's true. I feel like there's a lot of teams in that mid-level part that could beat you on any given night. Like there's the Colorado Rockies, the Chicago White Sox, and then I guess the Nationals will throw in there as well. And you're lucky to have them in your division. But the Marlins have won, what, like 10 straight
Marlins
right now?
have won 11 in a row on the road.
Straight.
On the road.
Yeah, like they're
like I don't consider the Marlins to be a team that's, I think they're spunky.
And then you have like the Rays and the A's and stuff like that who are playing in minor league parks, but we've named, 5 teams out of 30. I think more often than not, you look at 23 or 24 teams that can beat even the top teams in baseball on any given night. So I don't know.
You used to not get to play the bad teams. It was pointed out, Jason Stark's podcast had a thing on it a couple weeks ago. There was a time when you didn't play all the bad teams in the other league.
Right, yeah.
Now you do.
Interleague wasn't as common.
Which has made baseball more watered down as far as your regular season win total isn't the same.
And that's why it's tough to look back as you're listening to 97.5, The Fanatic, WPN, HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. That's why it's tough to look back at the 08 team or the 1980 team and try and compare the record through. Like, that's not a perfect science. It's barely even a science at all. And the only reason I bring it up is when you ask the question of why have more confidence, I mean, their win total to this point tells you they're pacing to be that they're going to win more baseball games on the pace that they're on. Now
they're not pacing better than last year, though.
Not last year.
And what did last year tell you?
Well,
it meant nothing.
Exactly.
Like, it meant nothing. Regular season win total didn't mean jack because all the things we saw all year long about that team, the fatal flaws, they all played out.
But then I could counter that with all the things we saw all year long about the 2022 Phillies didn't matter at all. All the faults, all of the issues, everything we were worried about was solved by 1 9th inning in St. Louis in a wild card round, and the next thing you know, they were near unbeatable. And they did not win the World Series, and I think that was more based on talent deficiency when compared to that Astros team. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, that 22 team, we could superimpose this conversation over that, and you would have not been able to give me a reason on this date why that 2022 baseball team was any different than the 21 Phillies who didn't make the playoffs. They had the same issues. They had a lot of the same players.
You're right.
And that's just what it's tough at this point. The story is not written, but the trends are absolutely in favor of your argument.
And I mean, I just don't understand how anybody would be, I'm more confident about this year's Phillies team. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be.
There are a couple of things.
The Phillies did not have a fatal flaw last year.
Yeah.
The Phillies did not have a fatal flaw in 23. They do. This year we do. It could get changed, and that's why I hold back on it.
What is the fatal flaw they have this year that's
this
different?
Bullpen is the fatal flaw.
Oh, okay. I got you.
They did not have a fatal flaw last year. They did not have a fatal. Now, I reserve the right to change my opinion in a few weeks.
Totally.
Because I do believe that fatal flaw of the bullpen, if you give me another bullpen arm, Alvarado comes back, and you give me a back-end legitimate, like, I know you were shopping in the Twins aisle.
I want Juan Duran so bad, dude.
Dude, it may be the smartest thing I've ever heard come out of your mouth. I love it. I love where you're shopping. Love it. If you give me a big-time back of the bullpen thing, does he have 2 more years control?
I believe he does.
I think so.
Yeah.
I would love that.
We have a clip we're going to play from Scott Lauber coming up.
Love it. I'd love that. And then you get me another journeyman type, David Robertson type. Then you get me Alvarado back. I think the fatal flaw is fixed.
Yeah.
I think it's fixed, even though Alvarado won't be in there in the playoffs. I think the fatal flaw is fixed. So then, if the lineup comes around, then I'm starting to feel good again.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you want to call the bullpen of this team a fatal flaw, I'm there with you. Okay,
You've been really voicing it, I know on Locked On Phillies, you've talked about it endlessly.
Before the season, this was the issue. It was always the bullpen. From the second you didn't re-sign Carlos Estevez and Jeff Hoffman, it was always a question mark. And from like week 1 of the season, you could tell it was going to be a problem. Which is why it's just people who get caught up with the lineup, inconsistent approach or whatever. They have too many games where they don't hit against good pitching. There are a lot of teams that don't hit against good pitching in a series over the course of 162 games. The lineup is survivable. I've seen these guys win at the playoff level. Not the World Series, but a lot of damn playoff series against some damn good teams. This bullpen is, in my opinion, not survivable as currently constructed.
Correct.
Unless you go and get 8 innings plus from Wheeler, Sanchez, Suarez back to back to back over and over for a month, which is not something that you can count on in any type of reality. So, we're in the same spot.
Because remember, you're playing the best teams.
Yeah.
So they're going to work counts. They're going to get Wheeler out after. They might get Wheeler out after 19 or 20 outs.
Yeah.
They may get Sanchez out after 6 innings. They may get Suarez out after. Suarez can sometimes pitch great and only still give you 5 2/3.
Yeah.
So you know you're going to need those bullpen arms.
But like the individual makeup of this team, Zach Wheeler is an even better version of what he was last year. I don't know how he keeps improving.
It's unbelievable.
But he's taken another step. Nobody in the offseason would have told me he's going to be better than last year because he was Cy Young runner-up for a second time in his career. Trey Turner is leading the National League in hits. That is something that this team, even though he was better last year than he was his debut year, they didn't have a guy that, like, do we understand how important that is to this lineup? For a lineup of guys that we were talking about not getting on base enough, not being able to scratch across runs enough, you have a dude who's leading the National League in hits. That's a major difference from last year's team.
He's been consistent.
Right.
And that's the big thing.
And it may not be enough, which is why we're talking about these acquisitions. They're not a perfect baseball team, not even close
So
to
we don't disagree on that as much as you would think.
No, I just don't go
You're
into a
just
season
more optimistic than I am.
and see the same names and say everything's going to happen the same. Because sports, I don't know, year over year, players change. And situations change more than you would think from just seeing the same names on the same team. And it may end up the same. But we got to wait to figure that one out. Coming up next, we'll hear more from you on what your thoughts are on last night and Dave Dombrowski versus Rob Thompson. Who's more at fault for the bullpen management in this series? Is it the chef or the person getting the ingredients? And we'll also talk about some minor league arms. Both of them now minor league
We're going to have
arms.
some good discussion on this one.
Mick Abel and Andrew Painter will be mentioned. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Do you feel unfulfilled? Do your afternoons feel like Groundhog Day because you keep hearing the same old tired takes? Good news. There is a solution to your afternoon drag.
Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo. 1 4-hour dose every weekday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. will sharpen your mind, give you the knowledge you need, and add that boost of energy needed to make that drive home.
Just turn the dial. It's that easy.
Make the switch. Unfiltered. Weekdays at 2 p.m. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. For fans of all ages, if you have a sports talk radio problem, call 610-632-0975.
I love my friends at Benari Jewelers, and I love that so many of you have been going into Exton and Newtown Square and telling them that you've heard about it on The Fanatic. You know, you're going to get the best diamonds there. You're going to get the best cuts, the most dazzling diamonds, because they handpick each one for brilliance, and they're graded by one of the most reputable gem labs you have ever imagined. You're not going to see all that, but what you're going to see is a showcase full of gorgeous diamonds and a staff that's going to help you through the process of picking the diamond and helping you design a ring that's going to look so amazing. And again, I had the opportunity to walk our man Brendan Gunn through it. And we had a great opportunity to get in there and see what Benari has to offer. And he wanted to make the most beautiful ring for his beautiful lady, so he would make the best decision possible. And I said, well, we're going to Benari. We rolled into Benari in Newtown Square, and it was awesome. Exton and Newtown Square. They're going to make sure that you, first of all, feel comfortable with the process. You understand what you're doing. And then they're going to let you make the choice. But they're going to make sure that you don't end up with an overpriced, cloudy, inferior diamond because you only get the best at Benari. Benari Jewelers, Exton, Newtown Square. Check them out. Tell them John Kincade sent you.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535. 800-511-3535.
If you have been hurt in an accident, you deserve maximum compensation. Payday starts with one call. Demand Rand. Call 1-800-90-LEGAL.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Baseball season is in full swing, and we have you covered. All the Phillies conversation, analysis, and expert interviews you need are right here. Philadelphia's source for breaking sports news. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. This is Kincade and Salciunas. Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic.
The 7 a.m. hour of Kincade Salciunas is brought to you by the Bet Parks online casino and sportsbook app. Live bet sports on the Bet Parks app and play all your favorite casino games. Bet Parks has a great offer for new users. Got to be 21, Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
So I forgot to mention earlier on in the show, Andrew DeCecco will be joining us coming up from the 8 o'clock hour on till the end of the show. So we will get into a bunch of stuff with him surrounding the Eagles. I have a question based on this Phillies conversation that we're going to turn into like a crossover Eagles-Phillies topic.
Oh, I like that.
So we're going to be excited to talk to him coming up when the 8 o'clock hour gets rolling. No Adam Schefter today. He has a flight. He's got, believe it or not, Schefter, busy guy. So he's going to be joining us tomorrow at 7:55. So we will talk to him.
I think we've had good conversation this morning because, look, this is a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 90-some win team.
Yeah.
We're all in agreement.
Yes.
It's just where we think this team can end up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do not think this team on July the 9th?
9th.
July the 9th, I do not think this team can give us that parade moment.
As currently constructed?
No chance.
Yeah, I'm getting
like
closer.
I would give it a 0 chance.
I would give it like maybe a 5.
As currently constructed. Do I believe they could be manipulated into it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, then it's not an impossible task.
But do I think Rob Thompson is... I wouldn't pick Rob Thompson in a game of Connect 4. And if you don't see it from the last 2 nights, I just can't. I don't know what you watch. He's asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, I didn't like him not going out and arguing with Phil Cuzzy.
They did it on baseball, on MLB Network. And a lot of people, by the way, have lost MLB Network from their cable packages and stuff.
Yeah.
It is lost out. He was getting people were, what's going on? They were like, what is going on? Why did he not go out and defend Bryce Harper?
Yeah.
Why did he not go? What is he doing? How does he
that was crazy to me.
How does he sit there in games and just stare off into space?
I don't know if you heard us yesterday talk about it.
I heard some of this.
I was very much in favor of him going out there and arguing and getting ejected and getting fired up.
We've seen in his tenure, Rob Thompson's tenure, Schwarber, Real Muto, Turner, Harper, 4 of them have to defend themselves against umpires.
Which I don't
Where he doesn't even take a step onto the field to even give his 2 cents, not even intervening. The manager doesn't have to go in and lose his stuff. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have to get kicked out. He doesn't have to act like an idiot. But he has to intervene.
I don't even care about defending the players as much.
But he
so much.
stares into space.
Right. Like, I just need you to, there needs to be a line of where you actually do get upset by something where your team's getting screwed over. And that line was crossed by Phil Cuzzy with those 3 straight calls against Ryan Kirkring
Which
in
was
that
terrible.
event. It's just like, there's no way that I could ever envision someone being in that situation in a sport and not going out there and losing their mind.
And then last night, all the Thompson truthers, I invite them to explain a 5-out save for Jordan Romano. Because if you are going to defend that, at that point I'm just saying, you are just trolling me. At that point, you are just trolling me. Because your manager, who you're going to try to defend, I will quote him from Monday night. The reason Orion Kirkering did not go further in that game is because Rob Thompson, we wanted to be able to use him in game 2. That is a quote from Rob Thompson. Not from me, from him. So once again, Rob Thompson tells you one thing and then doesn't follow through. So he doesn't believe even with what comes out of his mouth. His strategizing is minute to minute, and then he forgets what his strategy even was.
Well, that could have been his strategy. I don't want to defend the guy, but that could have been his strategy. And then he could have talked to Kirkering after he said that after the game. And Kirkering said, I'm no good tomorrow. I'm worn out.
No, he was available. They said in the broadcast he was available last night because they made that point during the broadcast.
Available and trying to get a 2. You're up 2 runs.
He only had to get go in a 3-1 game and go get it. You don't let Jordan Romano get a 5-out save.
I think you can avoid it. It was the dumb decision.
Right? He's trying to walk the tightrope.
Do you know how many closers have been asked to get 5-out saves this year? It's not common. And you're asking a tomato can closer to go out and get it.
Yeah, the problem is if Kirkering throws in that game, he's definitely down for today's game.
Well, but the manager told me he wanted to save him Monday night for game 2.
If he needed it in a 1-run game.
But it was 3-1.
Well, he thought he could walk it. He thought he could walk that tightrope.
Right. He thought he could get 5 outs out of Jordan Romano. He could not. The bigger issue is that you have guys that cannot get you 3 outs, or get you 1 out with Daniel Robert out there. The Romano thing was Rob Thompson trying to skate by with a tough situation where you could have gone Kirkering, but then tomorrow, let's say Luzardo, who struggled, has gotten into trouble. Who throws out of that bullpen? Let's say Luzardo gives up 2, you score 3, you got to go to the bullpen.
And you had a bullpen game last night for the most part. I mean, Taijuan Walker went 4, but then you had to use 4 or 5 arms.
Otto Kemp's throwing the 8th and 9th inning tomorrow. So I understand him trying to get more out of Romano than he probably should, because he does not really have enough options to manage the bullpen night to night.
I cannot believe you are going to be one of these people. My ears are bleeding.
What?
You're trying to get Jordan Romano, the best closers in the game. I will guarantee you, the best closers in Major League Baseball, not half of them have been asked to get 5-out saves this year.
I understand.
So you don't do it with a tomato can. See, you're going to make me. You know what the doctor's going to do? He's going to text.
It's not my fault. You're making yourself angry.
The doctor's going to text me. He's going to say, I told you take the steroids and don't raise your voice.
All I'm saying is if he thought, Romano looked fine in the 8th inning, and he thought that maybe I can get 3 outs with Romano, I don't have to use Kirkering so that tomorrow my bullpen isn't totally dead. He thought wrong, but he took a risk by doing that.
He took a completely stupid risk. It's Jordan Romano. It was the stupidest risk of all. He's one of the worst closers in the game.
It's not the stupidest risk of all, John. He's your 3rd or 2nd best arm in this bullpen. Everybody else sucks compared to him on this team besides 2 other guys.
But you told me
And he's also bad.
You had Kirkering, who you said you were going to use.
And he tried to save Kirkering for today because you would have had 0 guys and you would have been in the bullpen for the Phillies. And I don't want you pitching for the Phillies.
I want you to win the game that you have the chance to win.
I understand. And that's why
3-1 on the road.
That's why your argument is valid.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm on your side, but there's more to it than you're willing to look at.
No, not with this man.
I'm saying you're right, but there is another thought process to it. All right? He's not just shooting in the dark here, but he did make the wrong decision.
I'm just glad that he had some sort of, pulse. Got to check him. Got to check him.
All right, coming up next, we're going to get into this Abel versus Painter thing. If you think the argument is over,
oh no,
it's just beginning here. Rest up that voice in the break, Johnny. We got more to get into on the Phillies. It's Kincade Salciunas here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Well, that was a weird way to lose last night. I'm Brendan Go with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies dropped the second game of their 3-game series to the San Francisco Giants by a score of 4-3. The team entered the ninth inning last night with a 3-1 lead. Then came a couple of hits from the Giants, followed by an inside the park walk-off 3-run home run by Patrick Bailey of the Giants. Took a crazy bounce off the right center field wall, unfortunately for the Phils, but they look to bounce back today from that wild loss last night. This afternoon, in the final game of their series against the Giants, Jesus Luzardo's on the mound. First pitch is this afternoon at 3:45. The Sixers continued Summer League action last night with the 91-90 win over the Memphis Grizzlies and their Summer League squad. Sixers first-round pick, though, VJ Edgecombe was held out of a second straight game while he battles that thumb contusion. Summer League action continues for the Sixers this Saturday night against the Charlotte Hornets and their Summer League squad. And don't look now, Eagles fans, we're just 13 days away from the Birds reporting to training camp on July 22nd. Less than 2 weeks away. This update was brought to you by the local Rheem Pro partners at thereemteam.com. When you want your home to feel like a dream, it has to be Rheem. Stay cool with the high-efficiency AC system from Rheem, RHEEM. Find your Rheem Pro partner at thereemteam.com. I'm Brendan Gunn on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Texting, the easiest and most convenient way to communicate.
Texting, when you want to be heard, but not be heard.
Texting, when the Birds win big, but you're way too excited to talk.
Texting, when you're too shy to talk to Mike Miss or any of the other Fanatic hosts.
Texting, when you're frustrated after a loss and are afraid you might throw out a or a
Texting, when the phone lines are full and you have to get your point across now.
There are many reasons to text us here at 97.5 The Fanatic. No matter what it is, we want to hear from you.
610-632-0975. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Tonight is a big night. It's the Moyer 5K. It's their 30th anniversary event. Moyer Indoor Outdoor, you know how much Andrew and I both love them. And tonight at the Souderton Community Park, starting at 5:30, they're going to celebrate 30 years of community, fitness, and fun. With over 700 participants, you get family-friendly block party atmosphere with games, giveaways, and more. And there's sign-up and in-person registration beginning at 5:15. At 6:30 tonight, there's a kids 1K fun, run, walk. And then at 7 o'clock, the 5K race and fitness walk also begins. It benefits the e-meals program of the college scholarships for the Souderton area high school cross-country team members. And you get a $5 discount if you're a current Moyer customer. You got to love Moyer Indoor Outdoor. They take care of your house, keeping the bugs outside of your house. And they also make sure that that lawn looks absolutely amazing. With between all the Moyer taking care of it and all the rain we've had, both Andrew's lawn and my lawn looking fantastic. We love Moyer and we congratulate them on the 30th anniversary event. It goes tonight at Souderton Community Park at 5:30 p.m. Great job, Moyer. You're always a great part of the community, and we love that you're a part of the Fanatic family.
Hey, it's Rick Metallico. NASCAR returns to Dover Motor Speedway July 18th through the 20th for the General Tire 150, the Bet Rivers 200, and the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 400 Cup Series race Sunday, July 20th. See NASCAR's best drivers race at speeds up to 200 miles an hour and an amazing fan zone with the world's largest rubber duck and all new Miles Beach featuring a boardwalk and 600 tons of sand, NASCAR Kids Zone, and more. Get tickets at DoverMotorspeedway.com.
Making choices in the morning can be a bit much. I just want someone to say sausage or egg and cheese biscuit, sausage and cheese or egg and cheese English muffin, small seasoned potatoes, or medium hot coffee. Get 2 for only $3. At Wendy's, fresh made food means simple choices. Dare we say it's even a little fun? Okay, not like roller coaster fun. There's only so much we can do, people. When you want less thinky and more brekky in the morning, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only during breakfast hours. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo, single item at regular price.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your priceless vinyl collection. Sure, you sleep on a futon because the money most people would have spent on a bed you spent on more records. But forget the fact that you can stream just about any song ever created for a few dollars a month. No, you need to listen to music in the most difficult way possible. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Keeping your engines healthy
means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up, or when you store, start with Stable.
This is Philadelphia's station for breaking sports news. Powered by Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com.
That's LundyLaw.com.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. Wherever you are, the Kincade and Salciunas show is accessible. Did you know you can watch the show on YouTube right now?
You can listen to the show anywhere via 97.5thefanatic.com.
If you missed a show, then listen to the on-demand podcast or watch on YouTube.
And of course, we are live weekday morning 6 to 10 on 97.5 The Fanatic.
All right, Johnny, I hope you rested up that voice in the break because we've got a fun conversation
I think it's holding
up here.
I'm surprised it's holding up pretty well.
Now, this one is
the
going
steroids,
to be,
though, might be the problem.
I know. Good thing we're not arm
it.
wrestling over this. You might cook me today.
You know what's funny is, though? I've been so religious about how I've been eating and working out and doing everything to get myself back from in my recovery. The steroids.
Yeah.
Dude, I want to eat my left arm.
Oh, yeah, they will do that to you.
I feel like I'm in like one of those plane crash movies where like they ate each other. My daughter watches some stupid show about like it's like a girl.
Where they like cannibalize each other
yes.
after a plane crash?
Yeah, it's like a girls' soccer team.
Just nice.
It's called Yellow.
What?
It's called Yellow Jackets.
What the hell is?
It's called Yellow Jackets, I think.
I'm good on that.
And they eat each other?
It's the girl from Rose from 2.5 Men. The girl who always jumped over the railing on 2.5 Men. Really funny. But like it's a girls' soccer team or something that
and they crashed.
They crashed in a plane and they did like a Lord of the Flies thing and they were like eating each other and they didn't need to. Like they were really close to civilization, so they have to like cover up their.
They were just looking for any excuse.
And they murdered. I guess they murdered girls to eat girls and stuff like that. And then
sounds like an M. Night Shyamalan.
I love a feel-good show.
Hope I didn't ruin the show for people. But my daughter's watching it. Like when she'll come home sometimes and she'll have stuff on. I'm like, okay, what the hell's this?
Yeah, it's creepy.
I've never even heard of that, so I don't think it's a popular enough show.
But I guess what these steroids make me want to eat something.
Yeah, well,
make me just want. And I've been just religious about how I've been eating, and now I just feel like doing it. So
I've only got a couple more days.
I don't want to be fat, and the price is right.
No. Okay.
I want to look great on the. But Liv made my shirt yesterday. I'll show it to you. Great, she designed the shirt. It's going to be delivered next week. So I want to look good, and the price is right when I win my car and the showcase.
That'll be awesome.
And spin that wheel. So.
By the way, Andrew Salciunas out on vacation this week. If you're just tuning into the show for the first time this week, he'll be back on Monday. Andrew DeCecco joins us for the 8 o'clock hour on. So we get 2 hours of DeCecco later on in the show. We will get into some Eagle stuff there. But you want to bring up this conversation between Mick Abel and Andrew Painter.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot of, and read a lot of vitriol about, wow, this, good, get Abel out of here. Get him down here. He's a tomato can. He's done. Boy, he stinks. You know who Mick Abel's been better than? Andrew Painter. Mick Abel's been better than Andrew Painter. And by the way, Mick Abel's been facing Major League pitching, and Andrew Painter has been facing AAA bats. Mick Abel, who everybody wants out of here and doesn't want to have patience with, and I made the case. I gave example after example of Hall of Fame. I only used Hall of Fame pitchers, rookie years, to show you that Mick Abel was trending ahead of a laundry list of them. I stopped the list where he was better than modern-day Hall of Famers. And he was having a better rookie year than significantly. I made a list. I stopped at 11 or 12. And people are like, yeah, we got to get Painter up here. And I'm hearing people, even on our own radio station, saying, well, Painter will be up here and Painter will be in the rotation. Andrew Painter has been worse than Mick Abel, and he's been facing AAA bats.
No.
He's been facing bats that aren't good enough to be in Major League Baseball. So I'm asking people, first of all, you've not watched Andrew Painter pitch. You're lying to me if you say you have. If you have, you've done what I've done. I will tell you what I've seen Andrew Painter pitch. I've watched him on YouTube. I've watched reels of him pitching. I've watched excerpts of outings, and I've watched an occasional time when he has been shown in a game on television. That's what I've seen Andrew Painter pitch. And I'm going to tell you that I bet that is probably more than 80% of the people who are commenting on, who are penciling Andrew Painter into this lineup, into the rotation. Andrew Painter has been a worse pitcher this year for the Phillies organization than Mick Abel. So I'm just wondering, where's all the confidence coming with Andrew Painter?
Okay.
And I'm not saying that he's going to be a bum or that he's terrible or that I'm just wondering, why so out on one guy and so in on a guy who you haven't seen pitch, and he's been pitching worse this year than Mick Abel?
Yeah, I don't understand the Mick Abel part of your conversation, right? Because and we talked about this a little bit yesterday, like my plan for Mick Abel would have been let him make his next start before the All-Star game, reevaluate if Painter's ready, and then make that swap and call up Painter and send down Abel, potentially at that point if Abel's next start doesn't go well.
That would have been mine too, because I think that Jesus Luzardo has had 3 worse starts than Mick Abel. Mick Abel's worst start would be 4th on a list, and Jesus Luzardo has had 3 starts worse than his.
Yeah, now I don't want to make this a Luzardo thing, because I could also say Luzardo's had like 7 or 8 better starts.
Amazing.
So.
No, he's had amazing starts. But I'm saying to you is that the worst starts this year for this staff have really come from Luzardo.
Yeah, the Abel thing felt like a quick hook. Now, it could have been something that they were seeing, like that they were hearing when they talked to him about, hey, what are you feeling? Do you have the confidence needed to throw at this level? Like, I don't know that, but I would have given Abel another start.
And I don't know either, and you make a great point there.
Right.
Because that conversation could have gone on behind closed doors. I'm not privy to it. I don't know it. So you may be 100% correct in that.
But either way, right, let's just live with what the Phillies did. They started Taijuan Walker in his spot last night. You got everything you needed out of the plan for replacing Mick Abel for that one start, and it's that last spot for the rotation before the trade deadline. So whether Abel had been up here or not, whether you agree with that decision or not, in the moment, the Phillies got away with it with what they got from their starting pitching last night. They got exactly what they asked for in that stead. The Painter thing, so here's where people are high on Painter, is the track record, right? When you look at how he's been evaluated in the minor league system. I've talked to a lot of people about this all they do is prospects, a couple people that have gone out to Lehigh Valley to see him, people that have watched him throughout his minor league time. There was a point where this dude was the top pitching prospect, not in the Phillies organization, in baseball.
Before Tommy John surgery.
Well, no, after. There was a point last year where he was the top pitching prospect in baseball after the Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, but they didn't see him come back from the Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, but
at that point.
And even then,
they were projecting him.
They're still confident. But that's the thing, that projection, and everything that I've heard about this kid is he is absolutely the real deal. Now, I think Mick Abel got a raw deal on his evaluation because he had a bad year last year, and a lot of people wrote him off. And that now, seeing him and what he was able to do in a couple starts at the major league level, seems premature. But what I'll say is just the quality of pitcher as a prospect that they're going to be, even though Painter has had a rougher year than Abel when you look at the numbers, I still have more confidence in Painter because he was the number 1 pitching prospect in baseball at a point, and Mick Abel has not reached those heights at any point in his development.
If you tell me long term, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, that's all. That's what I'm talking about.
But I'm talking about We're talking about the 2025 season.
Yeah,
and I hear people talking about being really excited that Andrew Painter will come up in a week or after the All-Star game, and I'm saying, what are you basing it on? He has had a worse year than Mick Abel, and he's been facing guys who are not even close to the bats that Mick Abel's been trying to get out.
Yeah.
So why are you thinking that he's going to come up here and be better than what you've gotten out of Mick Abel? What I'm saying is, what's the rush with Andrew Painter? Why are you potentially going to cause him problems when he's obviously struggling?
Well, here's the thing with Painter as well. So the year that he ended up having the elbow issue, the UCL issue,
sure,
he was most likely, not 100% because he got it midway through spring training, but most likely he was going to break camp on the major league roster as part of a rotation.
I believe it would have been in June. I heard differently.
Okay.
I heard he would have been on the team probably in June.
But he had a season.
But we both agree.
Yeah,
he was going to be part of the Phillies that year.
Exactly. So this is a guy that has already earned that, and because of injury was unable to do that. And now, by all accounts, he's healthy, which is all I'm really worried about with him because he has shown the value as far as ability. And that's what we're banking on there. Now, he has not had a great year. For me, I still want to see him at the major league level because I wonder, too, if, and this is pure conjecture, I wonder, too, if you're a guy like Andrew Painter and you're like, I would have made the team 2 years ago if I had, or 3 years ago now, if I hadn't had that Tommy John surgery, I would have been up here. I already would have been at the major league level for 2-3 seasons. And I'm still in AAA, and they're managing my innings, and they're trying to be careful with my arm. I would be bored. And that's a very simple way of trying to explain what Andrew Painter could be feeling. But I wonder how locked in he is on, am I getting guys out at the AAA level as opposed to managing how my arm feels so that when they call me up, I'm healthy.
Okay, you walked into the bear trap.
Uh-oh, what's the bear trap?
Okay, well then explain to me then if you say that as an organization, explain to me what you're saying to Crawford.
That's exactly where I knew you were going to go, and I do not have a good answer for you. And the Crawford
Because
thing,
Crawford is earning
absolutely
the opportunity that, honestly, by performance, Andrew Painter hasn't earned.
So
Andrew Painter has not earned, since coming back from the injury, he has not earned the opportunity. He doesn't have the numbers or anything to say, put me on the major league roster.
Here's what I say.
So what are you doing? What are you doing to Crawford?
Adding Painter to the rotation does not hamstring you into starting him every game.
That is correct. That is
calling
correct.
Crawford up, he's got to play every game as a position player.
You're telling me that Crawford, you don't believe Crawford could do better than the two guys you're throwing out
I
there?
absolutely do because I haven't seen enough from those two guys. But Painter, if he's up and he stinks and you send him back down, your rotation still has Wheeler, Suarez, Sanchez, maybe Luzardo.
And Luzardo, look, we're getting 2/3 of the time you're getting a really good form.
Exactly, and we'll see what he gives you today. Crawford is a guy that would have it would have to work. And that may be something that the Phillies are not willing to bet everything on right now. Hey, we'll see, because he will come up this year. I firmly believe that.
Really?
Both of these guys. And we will get these answers. But it's a fair point on the Crawford thing.
It is an interesting discussion.
That's the only argument I have against you on that.
And you knew the bear trap was coming.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because if they're doing it for him, what is it?
Yes, but everyday position player may be a different mentality than every 5-day starter, especially when your rotation is this strong around that guy. But we'll see what they do. My theory is that they bring him up and he makes the first start after the All-Star break. That first game back against the Angels Friday night at the bank, I think it might be Andrew Painter night.
Oh.
But that's just me. That's a pure guess. We
Get
will
your
see if
tickets
they're
now.
willing to do it. Yeah, Brennan Gunn was already looking at tickets for that game when we talked about it yesterday. All right, coming up next as we continue this, we had a fun conversation that I want to hear from you, and it deals with that prospect stuff that we were just talking about. Painter, Abel, they're both going to be in this. Gunner and I put together our no-trade list for the Phillies. Guys that cannot be moved. A couple names at the major league level that have been in trade conversations, and a couple of prospects. I want to know how many are on your list, Sean, and honestly, from what you say about Mick Abel, I can't tell if it's going to be more guys or less than what Brendan and I put together because our list was not that lengthy. We'll talk about that coming up next, as well as hear from you on the rough night in San Francisco from the Phils. It's Kincade and Salciunas here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The summer's here, and you know what that means. Engagement season. But remember, don't force it.
Don't tell your significant other something so ridiculous they almost feel obligated to engage and prove you wrong. Let it be natural. Let it be intelligent and entertaining. Let it be unfiltered. With Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo. Every weekday from 2 to 6 p.m.
Make the switch. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Dr. Sprandio saved my life. Can I give you a better endorsement than that? I'm here this morning because Dr. Sprandio, John Jr., his dad, created the practice, the Consultants in Medical Oncology and Hematology, CMOH.org. And I implore you that if anyone in your family gets a cancer diagnosis, I couldn't give them a better recommendation than to sending them to the place that saved my life, with 3 offices in Delco and incredible staff. From the people who answer the phones, to the people who do the billing, to the people who welcome you when you come to your appointments, to the nurses, to the care is amazing. You will absolutely love them. They're dedicated, they're knowledgeable, they're compassionate, but most importantly, they're independent. And what that means is they can work with healthcare systems around the area. So you're not tied to working with the doctors that only report within the pyramid of one healthcare system. They're awesome. They're going to give you unique personalized care. They're going to give you high levels of service. And I promise there's going to be a personal relationship that's developed that will make them part of your family. I know we feel like they're now our family, the consultants in medical oncology and hematology. And I would recommend you to visit my family at cmoh.org. And they just might save the life of a loved one or yourself.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
Demand Rand. I'm Rand Spear. When you're injured, you need a law firm that fights, not one that settles for scraps. We're not afraid to go head-to-head with the insurance companies. Not every law firm can say that. Don't take a lowball offer. Get what you deserve.
Demand Rand. Call 1-800-90-LEGAL. The insurance companies hope you'll take their first offer. Don't. Rand Spear will push harder, fight longer, and win bigger. Don't settle for less. Call 1-800-90-LEGAL.
The Fanatics Deal of the Week is bringing you a wild wave of summer savings at Sahara Sam's Water Park in West Berlin, New Jersey. This week only, buy one Sahara Sam's ticket, get one free. That's 2 tickets for just $40. Sahara Sam's takes water park thrills to a new level with its fast-paced water slides, lazy river, wave pool, and so much more. Tropical family fun for all ages. Now open daily through Labor Day. Don't miss out. Offers only available until Sunday or while supplies last at 975thefanatic.com/deals.
Hey, this is Andrew Salciunas.
I'm John Kincade.
This is Mike Missanelli.
Ricky Batalico here.
We've done some great work with businesses across the Delaware Valley.
Companies like Landis Block, Waste Management's Bagster, and Comcast Business.
We only endorse businesses and products that we truly use and value.
Think about the impact of hearing Fanatic personalities talking about your organization and driving customers to your company.
Go to 975thefanatic.com/advertise to learn more about how The Fanatic can help you market your products and services. The Super Bowl champs have one goal in mind: win another one. Tune in Tuesday at 6 p.m. for a special Birds Insider Training Camp preview with Andrew DeCecco, getting you ready to watch the Birds defend their title. Philadelphia's home for the best Birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. This is Kincade Salciunas, Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic.
So you're going to also hear from Scott Lauber of The Inquirer in this segment. He was on with Philly Sports Tonight and Kevin Cooney, and he talks about one of the people that was iffy on Brendan Gunn and I's no-trade list for the Phillies yesterday. So we will hear from Scott on that. But I want to get your thoughts first, Johnny, because we ran down a couple of names yesterday, of names that cannot be moved at the deadline. And we came up with 4, maybe 5. And B. Gunn and I went back and forth on this. And, Brendan, you can continue to make the arguments that you were making yesterday on the guys that you're willing to move, that I'm not, or vice versa. But, first and foremost, major league level. We had Castellanos, Ranger, both not moving at the deadline. You need both of those guys. Are you with us there, Johnny?
I don't believe you can move Nick Castellanos because why are you creating a problem where you already have a problem?
Thank you.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Not at all.
No,
it shouldn't make any sense to anybody.
Now, would I absolutely not want to go through another year of Nick Castellanos here? Yeah.
Yeah, so off season?
I'm off season. I'll consider anything in the off season.
Absolutely.
But not now.
Yeah, and Ranger, no shot.
No, because Ranger has been, even though I would have considered it before,
yeah,
I would have been one of the people that considered it before. I'm not considering it.
Too valuable.
He's been. Yeah, he's been crazy.
Then come the minor league names. And the 4 names that were brought up were Mick Abel, Andrew Painter, Justin Crawford, and Aiden Miller. They were the big three, and Abel has now put himself in that conversation with what he did when he came up, right? Because he was kind of off the radar. Then they call him up. He has a couple of good starts at the major league level. We know he's down now, but he's shown that there is upside to have him in a major league rotation at some point in the future.
Sure.
So, of those guys, what we ended with were can't move Crawford, and that was something that Brendan Gunn and I debated. Can't move Painter. Those were the two. Miller was a maybe. Abel was a yes, that you can move him. Your thoughts on those names?
I don't really want to move Miller. I really don't. I'm studying last year's trade deadline and trying to figure out, can you really do some of the things that you have to do to get where you want to get without moving like someone like an Aiden Miller?
Yeah, part of that conversation that we had yesterday, we did mention top prospects don't get moved as much anymore.
Yeah, top 10 prospect did not get moved at last year's trade deadline.
Yeah.
From any team.
So you can get
Not
stuff
one
done.
team.
Because part of what that says is the trade deadline is not effective as it used to be. But also part of what that says is other teams are not paying these prices that we're hypothetically putting out there.
Yeah, I don't think Aiden Miller has to be moved, but I will tell you that Aiden Miller would have to be considered, and I will take the L, the big L, on, I would absolutely take a call on Aiden.
Yeah, you have to. And
because I just don't think that there's enough other stuff.
Right. At this
There's not enough other stuff that you'd be willing to move.
But you can't move like both. If you're going to talk on Abel, then you got to say, Painter's off the table. Because you can't move both of those
you're not even thinking about that.
Yeah, you need some future rotational arm. Now, I'm glad you went to Miller as a guy that you're trying. We were very conflicted.
I'm very conflicted on Miller potentially being moved.
So Scott Lauber brought up a situation, a hypothetical trade for a back-end bullpen arm, which is what you and I both want more than anything else for this team, and what a trade could look like if Miller was involved. Take a listen to what he had to say.
So I think you've got Joan Duran with the Twins, you've got Clase with the Guardians, and you've got Felix Bautista with the Orioles. Three closers who are controllable beyond this year. I think in all three cases, it's 2 more years of control. So it lines you up with the Wheeler window, 2027, right, as Wheeler keeps saying that's going to be it for him. So that gives you this run and 2 more, and you'd have that closer for that amount of time. And I think those 3 guys are super interesting because if those 3 teams sell, or any of them sell, now you're the Phillies, you've got to sit around the table and you've got to say, all right, do we push Aiden Miller in the middle of the table for this?
And when he brings up the amount of control you would have over those guys, and if Miller is the sticking point of that deal, I'd have to do it. Because when I look at the infield right now, Turner's here forever, Harper's here forever. We're not thinking about them as potential pieces that you're going to be out of in the next couple
And neither
years.
are ascending players.
Yeah, either way. Like, they're not going anywhere, so you don't have a need at those positions. Stott is a question mark.
No, Stott needs to be gone at the end of the year.
And I think a lot of people are going to feel that way.
Everybody can be A-O-A-okay, and let's sing the song.
Now,
I'm so tired of it. You're trying to win with a guy who's not ready to be. He's not a major league player. Not for a team that's going to win a championship.
He is defensively. The problem is in this lineup right now, he does not give
it.
you enough.
No, he doesn't give you enough at all.
Now, he's under team control for a while.
I don't care.
Well,
I don't care.
You're not just going to ditch a guy that costs you nothing. Now, if you want to bring someone in who's
but
better.
he's giving you nothing.
I got you.
I mean,
he's not. They're not just going to cut Bryce and Stott, right? They're not just going to release him.
Because you can find other guys to play second base.
Yeah, and they could play
affordably.
over him. Right, but could you imagine Bryson Stott as a utility infield replacement up the middle? Like, that's still a valuable.
In this scenario, you're getting a closer, and if the lineup doesn't get it done, you got to shake it up somehow.
Right, like end of this year.
I do not want Stott opening day next year as a Philly.
Yeah, end of this year, everything's on the table. So we will see.
I've seen enough. The book's written.
Yeah.
He is who he is. Remember he was going to win a batting title?
Yeah, I'm not dying on the Bryson Stott hill.
Remember that?
But the point is this: I'm cool with Bohm and what he's done this year.
I don't know why Bohm's being talked about as a problem.
Yeah, because the organization told you he was this offseason. A lot of people.
And he's a right-handed bat who's 6'4" and doesn't hit bombs, and this team sorely needs a right-handed power bat.
I got
but it's not his fault.
Make sure you give him the full height there.
I looked at him without the cleats on.
All right, that's kind of weird. But anyway, the point with the Miller
Where
thing
were you
is
looking at him?
You do have 3 guys at least in the infield that you could see being here for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have that in the outfield. You don't necessarily have that in the rotation. You need 5 guys, which is why Miller could be movable.
Not having it in the outfield's a good thing. It's a good thing. You just made me smile.
Yeah.
Because watching them, they should put the Three Stooges music or circus music on that outfield last night on that on the inside the park home run. I mean, unbelievable.
Hey, professional left fielder Otto Kemp made a nice play last night. Yeah, their outfield defense has been rough. Which
center fielder doesn't have to run to the wall because they need to lay back in case when the ball's going in that direction, it comes back off the wall that way.
That's
unbelievable.
That's so tough to say.
You don't run.
That's very tough to say on that play.
When the ball's that high, the ball's not going to. If you run too close to the wall, it's not going to bounce down at an angle. This might have been geometry class. Maybe you missed it. Angles. You do not run that close to the wall.
Definitely missed that class.
Because the ball is going to, if it hits that wall, the ball's going to bounce over your head and bounce back where you came from.
That's a tough one to predict.
I can't
Not
if you attended a math class in your life.
I can't put that on the fielder.
Who's thinking about math playing center field?
Oh, believe me, Captain Caveman ain't.
Angles, man.
ZZ Flop is certainly not.
Coming up next, we're going to welcome in Andrew DeCecco. I already see him sitting out there.
He's got a parachute on, I think.
We're going to talk a little bit about a conversation that Andrew and I had last week on the 4th of July. And we're going to see where Johnny ranks on this. Is it time for the Eagles to turn the page? Is it time for the fan base to turn the page? We talk about it next year on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Well, that was an unfortunate bounce off the wall. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update, and it's brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that is built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. The Phillies dropped the second game of their 3-game series to the San Francisco Giants last night by a score of 4-3. The team entered the 9th inning with a 3-1 lead, but then came a couple of hits and then a walk-off inside the park home run by Patrick Bailey of the Giants on a crazy bounce off the right center field wall last night. Phils look to bounce back this afternoon after that wild loss against the Giants. Jesus Luzardo's on the mound. First pitches this afternoon at 3:45. The Sixers continued Summer League action last night with the 91-90 win over the Memphis Grizzlies and their Summer League squad. Sixers first-round pick, though, VJ Edgecombe was held out of a second straight game as he battles that thumb contusion. Summer League action continues for the Sixers on Saturday night against the Charlotte Hornets and their Summer League squad. And don't look now, Eagles fans. We're 13 days away from the Birds reporting to training camp on July 22nd. This update was also brought to you by Moyer & Son. Summer's heating up. Call Moyer Indoor and Outdoor for expert pest control and lawn care. Moyer, trusted service, year-round solutions. Visit eMoyer.com today. I'm Brendan Gunn on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Do you feel unfulfilled? Do your afternoons feel like Groundhog Day because you keep hearing the same old tired takes? Good news. There is a solution to your afternoon drag.
Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo. 1 4-hour dose every weekday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. will sharpen your mind, give you the knowledge you need, and add that boost of energy needed to make that drive home.
Just turn the dial. It's that easy.
Make the switch. Unfiltered. Weekdays at 2 p.m. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. For fans of all ages, if you have a sports talk radio problem, call 610-632-0975.
I'm going to be honest with you. We had a poll around the studio. Is when Andrew DeCecco, someday decides to get married, where are we going to send him? I said, well, look, we just saw Brendan Gunn get engaged with a ring from Benari, so we're sending him to Benari. Exton, Newtown Square. It's the best because what can they do? I knew nothing about diamonds when I was looking to get engaged. And when Brendan was going to get engaged, I said, look, we're going to Benari. We're going to bring you in. We're going to make sure that you get taken care of. And they're literally going to walk you through the process. Now, look, I'm going to be honest with you. Brendan looked a little glazed over as they were telling him all about the diamond process. But they explain it so easily, even I understood it. I was understanding what they were telling him. And then when Brendan was being walked through the process, he became like this diamond expert. He even put on like the little, like the Monopoly guy, where he puts on the little thing and he's staring at the diamond to see if there's any flaws in it. All of a sudden, he becomes this big expert because that's how comfortable Benari Jewelers made him feel. More importantly, he then designed the ring with the beautiful designers there at Benari, and he made the perfect ring for his perfect lady, and now he got a yes. So someday, when it's DeCecco's turn or anybody else's turn, maybe it's Haley's, I'm bringing in the guy, I'm taking him over to Benari. Exton and Newtown Square, they're going to make sure you get the best diamond because they are scrutinizing every diamond they put in their showcases. They're the best, and you're going to thank me all later. Showrooms in Exton and Newtown Square, they're the best. Benari Jewelers, tell them John Kincade sent you in.
The Philadelphia Union return home to host New York Red Bulls in the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open Cup Wednesday, July 9th. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. Limited tickets are available. Head to PhiladelphiaUnion.com to purchase yours. Don't miss a second of the action this season. Watch every Union game on the MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Tune in all season long to 975thefanatic.com, the Fanatic app, or on your smart speaker. 97.5 The Fanatic is your official 2025 Philadelphia Union radio broadcast partner.
With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and advanced fiber solutions, Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. Powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through July 21st, new customers can get started with 150 megabit internet for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card. Call today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Other restrictions apply.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Rocket Pop Ice has landed at Rita's. Enjoy a blast of flavor inspired by the iconic red, white, and blue Ice Pop. Plus, add our new firecracker glitter topping. Stop by Rita's and try Rocket Pop Ice today.
Be cool, eat up Rita's. Coming up at 10, Mike Missanelli. This is Philadelphia Sports Talk with Kincade and Salciunas. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
We've got Andrew DeCecco in studio with us, joining us for the remainder of the show. Andrew, good to see you, buddy.
Good morning, gentlemen. Great to be with you, as always.
Appreciate you taking the time. You're also going to be with us on Friday, so we're going to get a lot of talking with training camp right around the corner. 2 weeks now to training camp.
13 days, but, hey, who's counting?
Well,
that's when players report.
Well, I know you're playing because it's like, that's Christmas Eve, 12 nights away. Christmas Eve for him.
You get the big calendar, you start putting the X's on the days.
He's he's going to be like the kid from Christmas Story. He's going to be waiting up there the night before.
You know it.
He has his notebook. He's ready to, he already has it all planned out. He loves it. It's his favorite.
No, I'm sure.
I love it.
The only time I ever count down to something like a holiday like Christmas is when I get the Advent calendar because I like the chocolates that come with it. But sometimes I'll open up a couple doors extra if I'm feeling a little bit hungry. But we can't rush our time to training camp. It will come when it comes. We had a conversation, though, on Friday. I want to lead off with this to just kind of set up the conversation that we're going to have for the next couple hours. On the Birds, we're going to talk a little Phils, and John has a Sixers topic for later on in the 9 o'clock hour. Mm-hmm. But on Friday, Johnny, Andrew and I were talking about, with the 4th of July holiday upon us, when we come back on Monday, is it time for both the players and the fan base to turn the page for the Eagles? And what I mean turn the page is not forget about the Super Bowl, right? It's not pretend like they didn't just win a championship a couple of months ago. It doesn't mean you can't celebrate banner night or when they get their rings, but that your preeminent thought when somebody mentions the Philadelphia Eagles, if somebody at the Wawa goes, hey, go Birds, your first thought that should pop into your head at this point should be about this coming season and not what happened last year.
Okay, what happened to you while I was gone?
What do you mean?
Because you sound smarter to me. Like what went on? Because you sound smarter to me. I
got some time away from you. My brain came
I think
back.
that's what
Check out the big brain on Connor Thomas.
It is. I mean, I love the mentality. Because you preface it the perfect way, and if that's the way you guys are talking about it, that's the absolute perfect way to look at it is. We're not going to not celebrate banner night. We're not going to not celebrate all the great memories that we all have of that incredible season and that incredible run. But I absolutely have turned the page in my mind to the upcoming season. I'm already thinking about Dallas. I'm already thinking about all the exciting things that we have to look forward to this spring. I've turned the page mentally in my head, and that doesn't mean that I'm in any way losing any of the satisfaction of what we went through.
But most importantly, the players have turned the page. If you're to take what they said at face value, right, from the spring, they've really turned the page. And if you look at A.J. Brown or someone like Jalen Hurts or even Devontae Smith, they didn't have any issue turning the page. They want more, and they know how talented this team is and how the window is very much open, and they want to take advantage of it. So they're not relishing in or basking in the Super Bowl glow. I mean, they had their moment, but now it's time to lock in for the 2025 season. And that was one of my sort of prominent takeaways from spring practices.
Yeah, they barely even took time to read the page. They flipped it so fast, some of those guys.
They all told Cooper, you celebrate for all of us.
He's been doing it. But that was the other part of the conversation, too, is, and I don't want to be the fun police of like, all right, boys, the championship celebration is over. But at this point, with under 2 weeks till training camp report, 2 weeks exactly to their first practice, I think it's time for the players as well, where we see them start to lock in more. And this is just from an outside perspective. Like, I'm sure they've been putting in the work. People are worried about, like, Saquon because he went on Hot Ones and he's on the cover of Madden and he's not as prepared as he needs to be.
Mike Missanelli doesn't even want him drinking.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't even want him having a beer. I mean, it's like, come on now.
He's a grown-up. He can
He's
make
a
his own
grown-up
decisions.
and he can do it, and he trains like a beast.
Yeah, I'm not going that far. But
I'm more worried about Mike having a beer than I am. And
He's more of a wine guy,
and
isn't
him
he?
being Mike's a wine connoisseur. You kidding me? I'm more worried about Mike being ready for 10 o'clock after, a nice Cabernet the night before.
He'll be ready. He'll
always be ready.
But so we're all on the same page here. Like, it is time to
I
now
love it.
look
I love
to the
that
future
mentality.
for the Philadelphia Eagles. So everything that we're going to be discussing, it's not going to be, they did this last year or they accomplished it. No, it is about the 25-26 team. And there are some questions that are going to need to be answered in training camp that we're going to be looking closely at as you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN and WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. So as we sit here, what's the 2-week lead up to training camp like for you, Andrew? Do you have preparation on big storylines? Do you already have these locked down? Like, what are you studying to prepare yourself for one of your favorite days of the year?
Well, I'm glad you asked. What I like to do leading up to training camp, Connor, is I'll do position previews. So basically every single day I'm doing a different position. So by the end of it, and I've already done this, I've written about all 90 players on the roster, so I know about all 90 players, and you're kind of well-versed on that going into training camp, where they stand, some of their challenges that they're facing, some of the biggest competition. And so from now on, I'm looking at Saquon Barkley and his workload. Big picture stuff. Kevin Patullo and the offense. What's it going to look like? You keep hearing the word evolve. What does that mean? What is it going to look like? And then for defense, I'm looking at some of these new pieces. There's a lot of new faces. There's a lot of new additions. How are they going to blend in? And will they be able to hit the ground running much like the team did last year under Vic Fangio?
Can I tell you, Connor, what it is?
What's
Because
that?
I've seen some of this planning in previous years. Andrew DiCecco is, you've seen these Disney freaks that like get ready for their Walt Disney World trip and they have like game plans of like, okay, tomorrow we're hitting Epcot and we're going here and we got fast passes for this and we're going here at this time. He already has the story tree, like our boss Scott Masteller will tell us, create your story tree and think about all the different angles you're going at. I guarantee you in the notebook, it's pages of places he wants to go and things he's already thought out.
It is.
So when they open the door, it's like rope drop at the Magic Kingdom, and he may knock over you and your kid in the stroller to get to where he wants to go. Pretty good analogy.
You're pretty spot on there, John. It's almost like you know me.
I'm not standing in front of you either.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's the beautiful thing about having you in, because now we get to pick your brain on all that stuff. And something we haven't done in a little bit, because the off season, there's only so many storylines when you were in like mid-June or late June and everything, and talking about maybe draft picks and maybe free agents here and there. But we haven't asked people for texts for questions for you. What I want to do is I want to open up the text line for the rest of the show, since you'll be with us until the end of the show. It's 610-632-0975. Training camp questions for Andrew DiCecco on the board. So just go ahead and put it for Football Guy Andrew. The only Football Guy Andrew that's here this week with Salciunas on vacation, even though
That's right.
he's stretching his football guy status a little bit sometimes.
He shines. Don't dim his light.
Well, I won't dim yours because you're in here, and when he comes back, I'll be nice to him too. But if you have questions for Andrew DiCecco on what to look for ahead of training camp, position battles, any of the stuff that you know he's already thought about, we'd love to hear from you on the text line, on the phone line, 610-632-0975. So we've talked about this a little bit, but your number one storyline right now, what's top of, or I guess base of, however you build out your story tree? What is the most important focal point right now for you as we sit just 2 weeks away from training camp?
Well, I think it has to be the evolution of the offense, because when you hear prominent figures like Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown talk about it, it certainly doesn't pertain to the running game. I think that's pretty well at hand. You would think that it would have to do with the passing game. And to expand on that, I want to see if they're able to kind of threaten vertically a little bit more and open things up a little bit, because the talent obviously is the best offense in the NFL, but it's about maximizing that talent and those opportunities. And I also want to see if they get the running backs involved in the passing game a little bit. We've seen it in the past couple of summers with DeAndre Swift. We've seen it last summer with Saquon Barkley. But now I want to see if that's sort of implemented in to add another dimension to it.
So when you talk about the verticality of the passing game, a player comes to mind for me that may not be the first for a lot of other people. And this will show you where we're going with this conversation, because we could easily say A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. How much does Jahan Dotson, being the guy he was in that Super Bowl or a little bit in the postseason run, play into their ability to get vertical?
It's interesting because Jahan Dotson, I don't believe, was fully utilized to optimize his skill set. What I mean by that is a lot of his receptions, and he caught 19 of 33 pass targets for, I think it was 216 yards. He didn't have the opportunity to really work in space, and a lot of his catches, he was getting tackled right after the catch. I think that kind of inhibits what he's able to really do. And I'm not suggesting he's going to eat into A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, or even Dallas Goedert's targets, but I think if he can give you 25 or 30 receptions and he can really use them as a vertical slot, well, that opens up a whole new dimension. To take it a step further, Will Shipley, as the number 2 running back, has a pass-catching prowess that kind of exceeds what Kenny Gainwell gave you last year. Now, pass protection is going to be key in him carving out that role, but if he's able to do that, that gives you another flair to the offense. So there's certain elements here that I'm curious to see how they pan out.
I don't want to relitigate stuff last year about stuff, because in a year when you won the year you won the Super Bowl. But who's to blame for the fact that the passing attack didn't evolve last year? Is that on Kellen Moore?
I think
because the passing coordinator is now the offensive coordinator.
Right. So that's a great question, John. I think a lot of that has to do with Kellen Moore coming in from outside the organization, where now you have to learn your quarterback and his tendencies and what you want to work on with him. And you also have to learn the whole offensive the personnel. And I know that every team is sort of faced with that, but sometimes that's a little bit choppier than you would like, and you're not able to get out of the gates, as fast as you'd like. So I think this year, having Kevin Patullo, he's worked with Jalen Hurts since 2021 when he was part of Nick Sirianni's initial staff. I think that's going to go a long way into kind of unveiling this offense early.
Hey, relationships are important. Nick Sirianni values them, and maybe Kevin Patullo has a secret weapon there that we have not previously considered. Now, something that's never choppy is today's headlines. At least when I do it. But we'll see if Brendan Gunn can handle it. No, B. Gunn does a great job.
He's the one and only.
He is the one and only. But, did you shut my mic off?
That's what you get.
Oh, my goodness. Hey.
No B. Gunn slander while I'm here.
That's fair enough. We've got today's headlines with Brendan Gunn coming up next. We'll get more into this Eagles conversation with our guy, Andrew DiCecco. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Ray Dunn, Mike Missanelli.
You're giving 2 roster spots to 2 players who showed you last year their age on a roster you said you wanted to get younger. They've gotten older.
He just got done telling me that they made a mistake, and he does the same thing. All right, I'm out. I'm done on the Sixers.
I got to tell you, Mike, when I got that notification yesterday that Lowry was re-signing, all I could think about was, I just can't wait to teach Mike up about this tomorrow.
Enough is enough now.
The Mike Missanelli Show. Weekdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
When you want to turn your backyard into a slice of paradise, you got to make sure you maintain it properly. And Landis Block and Concrete can help you with that. Landis Block has all the materials that even if you didn't build your backyard paradise with Landis Block stuff, you can make sure that it's clean of all that. If it's northern exposure, you might end up having like moss and mildew and things like that. They can take that right off. But if you haven't built yet, if you haven't created something for your home's exterior that's going to make it look amazing, we had the most wonderful time entertaining twice over the 4th of July holiday with a beautiful backyard that we created with Landis Block. It's awesome. We had the beautiful slate pavers and then the wall built up with the bricks and then the indirect lighting, which lights it up at night with a little fire pit area. It's awesome. You can head over to landisbc.com on the web and get inspired. They have so many different pictures and ways that you can get in because your paradise awaits you. You have a blank slate back there in the backyard. Why don't you create something that you're going to be proud of and you're going to use over and over again? Trust me, your backyard deserves it. Go to Landis Block and Concrete. Create your own jaw-dropping backyard paradise.
It's time for patio parties, backyard barbecues, and porch swings. But is your home ready? Our preferred pros can help turn your home into a summer oasis. From backyard decks to AC tune-ups and roof repairs, our preferred pros are ready to tackle all your home care needs. Call Preferred Pros today.
Clogged drains, leaking sinks, no hot water? Ace Hardware Home Services has got you covered. Schedule fast expert plumbing service at acehardwarehomeservices.com.
Metropolitan Veterinary Associates is proud to be the largest privately owned hospital in our region, offering specialty and emergency care for your dogs and cats 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Great Railing in Williamstown is now the largest Trex dealer in the United States and has Trex on sale from $1.89 per foot. GreatRailing.com.
Check out Preferred Pros today. This paid program is sponsored by businesses highly rated by actual customers. For more details, visit 975thefanatic.com.
Dick's Deal Days are happening now. You won't want to miss our biggest sale of the summer. Scorecard members earn a $20 bonus reward on your purchase of $150 or more. Plus, 3 days of amazing savings start Tuesday. Check out offers from brands like Nike, Adidas, Hoka, and Stanley. And check back daily for new one-day deals Tuesday through Thursday. Score the season's hottest savings before they're gone on July 10th. Shop in the app and on Dicks.com. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Join Ricky Bottalico from Unfiltered and Corona for Ricky Bo's Road tomorrow night from 7 to 9 at Bistro on Bridge in Phoenixville. Enjoy $5 Corona bottles and $5 Modelo drafts and score some Corona swag. Enter for a chance to win a 4-pack of Philly tickets for the July 21st game versus Boston. Click events at 975thefanatic.com for details.
This is Kincade and Salciunas, Philadelphia Sports Talk, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Back live here. I'm Connor Thomas in for Andrew Salciunas. John Kincade back in, and Andrew DeCecco joining us for the rest of the show today. You can get in your texts on questions ahead of training camp for football guy Andrew DeCecco. Before we get to today's headlines with Brendan Gunn, I know we've already got questions pouring in on that. What do we have on the text line back there, Bren, as far as questions for our guy, Andrew?
Yeah, we got Eric in Media, Nativity BVM Parish. It's a Delco thing he wanted John to know. He says for Andrew.
Nativity, baby. He's Media then. I think he's Media guy, right?
Exactly. Great town. Deep cut, but is E.J. Jenkins someone to look at the tight end position group? I have no idea why, but I'm bullish on this guy as a contributor next year in limited opportunity.
What's up, Eric? Well, you just happen to be asking the right person because I'm pretty well versed on E.J. Jenkins, and this is a player that I thought had a really good summer last year, probably the Eagles' second-best blocking tight end behind Dallas Goedert. However, there's some hurdles because they added Harrison Bryant and Kylan Granson in free agency, and Grant Calcaterra, of course, is still there and probably entrenched as the number 2. But I think if E.J. Jenkins can continue to hone in on the blocking and make himself invaluable in that area, and then also contribute on special teams, he's got a shot. He's a dark horse candidate for sure, but I don't think he can be counted out.
Yeah, what's like his level of contribution? Like everything goes perfectly for E.J. Jenkins. He's what, the third tight end, and
tight end
he's
3.
in big time blocking spots.
Yeah, I mean he's the third. He would be the third tight end in this scenario, but I mean realistically, you're not going to play a ton barring injury.
Right.
But I do think that he can give you something in the blocking aspect, but he just has a lot of players that he's going to be vying against for a third spot that may or may not even exist.
Yeah, it's just so tough to look at this Eagles offense, right? If you're going to ask any questions ahead of training camp about Eagles offensive players, there is not enough to go around to feed all the mouths of backups on this. Like, they just have, like, Pro Bowlers or all pros in basically every position on offense, which makes it very tough to be impactful as a depth player on that side.
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be a ton of competition, and there's only one football to go around. So you mentioned Jahan Dotson. I mean, I think he had 19 catches last year. If he gets you 25 or 30, and they're more vertical or they're more in space, I mean, that's an improvement. But realistically, I mean, the passing game is going to run through A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. And the running game is, Saquon Barkley's got that well in hand.
Yeah, I'd like if they used Jahan Dotson like a Quez Watkins. The only problem with because I thought Quez Watkins was utilized well here. He just wasn't all that good.
Reliable. He wasn't very reliable.
So that's the type of stuff that I'd like to see from Dotson. Just, hey, if you get down the field, maybe catch the important balls, especially in the important games. But that's an unnecessary ricochet shot at Quez. And without...
He would have dropped it, by the way.
Yeah. Probably. Without further ado, let's get to today's headlines with the one and only Brendan Gunn.
Today's headlines with the one and only Brendan Gunn.
Brought to us by the one and only Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. And we all like playing golf around here on this show. And we all, as golfers, hate a slow pace of play.
Oh.
Well, on Monday, a video went viral on the internet of a guy chirping the guy in front of him for playing slow. That guy who was playing slow took exception to it, and he goes and pushes the guy that was chirping him. The guy that was playing slow ends up in the pond and pretty much getting his ass kicked. Well, it came out yesterday. The guy that kicked the guy's ass was former NHL player Nick Tarnasky, played in the NHL for 6 years, enforcer by nature.
I watched this video yesterday.
Was he right or was he wrong?
He was right.
He was the one chirping originally.
He was right.
He was right.
He was absolutely in the right.
He did get pushed first.
The minute that somebody starts bowing up on you and they create a confrontation, you have a right to end it.
Yeah, and the other guy in the story was a moron. Like, he's standing there, like, flexing like crazy. Yeah, seemed very intoxicated. And if you're telling them to speed up, hey, you should be able to have a casual conversation on a golf course. Like, hey, you guys got to pick up the pace a little bit. And it shouldn't lead to a fight. And if you're going to start a fight, you better not do it against an NHL enforcer.
He was belligerent. That guy was belligerent. He got in his face. And then at that point, you get in defense mode, and he completely threw him out of the club. As he should.
He threw him
and
into
the guy kept coming back for more.
Right.
I mean, he looked like he was seeing stars after that.
The best was bam.
Yeah, I was going to say that was the best part.
He was adding sound effects
bang
to his own
as he was
bang,
punching.
That was great.
Utter dominance.
Yeah, so don't fight hockey players on the golf course. How about nobody fights anybody?
How about you hurry up on the golf course as well? Like, this is double whammy.
How about doing that too?
Yes.
Like, let's do that.
All right. Moving on. Netflix released season 2 of their quarterback series, and Kirk Cousins is a member of the show, and he spoke about his signing in Atlanta and how he might have been deceived a little bit when they drafted Michael Penix afterwards. Take a listen.
Ended up signing with Atlanta and was pretty excited about the chance to get down there and start fresh. And then, was pretty surprised when the NFL draft happened. Wasn't expecting us to take a quarterback so high. At the time, it felt like I had been a little bit misled, or certainly if I had the information around free agency, it certainly would have affected my decision.
Now, is it shut up and go play and don't lose your job, or is it the Falcons organization's mishandling of the situation?
He was misled.
Yeah, I think it's fair for him to have that thought.
He would have stayed in Minnesota potentially.
Yes.
He would have stayed in Minnesota. But remember, he knew Minnesota was drafting had plans they had shared with him.
Right.
We're going to draft a young quarterback, so he made his decision. And by the way, he could have gone to San Francisco, and he could have gone to... There were 2 other teams on the hook when he chose Atlanta. If he had known they were going to draft a quarterback at 8,
yeah, it'd be like working at a job and you're working remote, right? And we know a lot of jobs are doing this. They say you're going to have to start coming back to the office. And you say, okay, well, I don't want to come back to the office. I quit. I'm working for this other company that's allowing me to work remote. And you show up day one and you got an email from HR saying it's time for you to report to the office. Hey, it sounds like they misled him with the situation. I don't blame him for feeling a certain type of way.
Yeah, I mean, you're essentially saying you're our guy, we're committing to you, and then all of a sudden, psych, and you pull the rug out from under him. Yeah, you're misled. You're entitled to feel some type of way about it.
By the way, he pulled a Brett Favre, though, and he pulled a Aaron Rodgers. He wasn't helping Michael Penix,
Yeah.
too, to be ready. That's a jerk
And he
move.
wasn't healthy enough to be playing and delayed the surgery so Penix couldn't get on the field, and then it turned out he needed
Correct.
the surgery after all.
Right, like there's a way he could have handled it better, absolutely. But he was put in a situation that
Correct.
sounds like he was not aware of prior to signing there, and that's not the way you should do business. So both sides at fault, but more so on the Falcons that started the issue. Coming up next, speaking of quarterbacks, passing yards is something Kirk Cousins is proficient in when he's available, or at least was in his career. Jalen Hurts, it's been one of the question marks for him, at least in the compilation conversation. And John has some numbers on some betting odds for Jalen Hurts passing yards. Where he ranks could surprise you. We'll talk about that coming up next here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Well, I've never seen a loss quite go down like that. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update, and it's brought to you by Groundworks, your expert for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. The Phillies dropped the second game of their three-game series to the San Francisco Giants last night by a score of 4-3. The team entered the ninth inning with a 3-1 lead. Then came a couple of hits and then a walk-off inside the park. 3-run home run by Patrick Bailey of the Giants. Took a crazy bounce off the right center field wall last night. Unfortunately for the Phils, they look to bounce back this afternoon after that wild loss in the final game of their series against the Giants. Jesus Luzardo's on the mound. First pitches this afternoon at 3:45. The Sixers continued their Summer League action last night with a 91-90 win over the Memphis Grizzlies and their Summer League squad as well. Sixers first-round pick, though, BJ Edgecombe, was held out of a second straight game as he battles that thumb contusion. Considered day-to-day, nothing serious right now. Summer League continues for the Sixers on Saturday. Maybe we'll see Edgecombe there when they take on the Charlotte Hornets. And they're the Summer League squad Saturday night. And don't look now, Eagles fans, we're 13 days away from the Birds reporting to training camp on July 22nd, under 2 weeks away. This update was also brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that is built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. I'm Brendan Gunn on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The summer's here, and you know what that means. Engagement season. But remember, don't force it.
Don't tell your significant other something so ridiculous they almost feel obligated to engage and prove you wrong. Let it be natural. Let it be intelligent and entertaining. Let it be unfiltered. With Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo every weekday from 2 to 6 p.m.
Make the switch. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Andrew Salciunas and I would like to congratulate our friends at Moyer Indoor Outdoor. Not on the fact that they finally got Andrew's lawn looking like, it's not a tenement. It now looks beautiful. It looks like a country club. No, it's the fact that Moyer Indoor Outdoor is celebrating their 30th anniversary event tonight with the Moyer 5K. It's been 30 years of community, fitness, and fun. Where's it going down? At the Souderton Community Park. And it goes down the night at 5:30 p.m. It's a great family fun block party type atmosphere with games and giveaways and more. There's a custom event t-shirt for all registered participants. There's water stations and music throughout the course. It's a post-race food, beer, and entertainment too. And there's so many different age groups in 10-year gaps. There's a in-person registration. 6:30 p.m. starts the kids' 1K fun run walk. And then at 7 o'clock, the 5K race and fitness walk. And it benefits the e-meals program and the college scholarships for Souderton area high school cross-country team members. And there's a $5 discount if you're a current Moyer customer. Moyer takes care of our homes, keeping the pests out and making sure that our lawns look amazing and making sure that also, too, the mosquitoes don't ruin our outdoor activities. So it's time to schedule those treatments, and it's never too late to get your house looking great. Moyer, congratulations on the 30th anniversary of this amazing event. Goes down tonight at the Souderton Community Park at 5:30 p.m. Andrew and I congratulate you.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call Cordell & Cordell today because your business is more than a job, it's your legacy.
Philadelphia, Radnor, Allentown, and Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Michelle Ferreri, licensed in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up, or when you store, start with Stable.
Hey, it's Ricky Bo. Come hang with me this Thursday, July 10th from 7 to 9 p.m. at Bistro on Bridge in Phoenixville. We'll talk all things baseball, we'll enjoy some ice-cold Coronas, and give away great prizes, including tickets to sit in Ricky Bo's row. Grab $5 Corona Extra bottles and $5 Modelo Especial drafts while you're there. Don't miss the fun. Meet me and the Fanatic crew this Thursday at Bistro on Bridge, presented by Corona, the official cerveza of Major League Baseball.
The real and inside story on Philly sports is here, and it's powered by Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com.
That's LundyLaw.com.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
This is Kincade and Salciunas, Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Remember, you can get your texts in on questions for training camp for Andrew DeCecco, who is with us until the end of the show today. He'll be back with us again on Friday if you missed it earlier. Adam Schefter will join us tomorrow. He's got a flight plan. So we got football guys every day for the rest of the week with Andrew, Shefty, and then Andrew again. It's going to be fun. I know we have a couple of texts rolling in, and in this segment, we're also going to get some betting numbers on Jalen Hurts and his passing yards because
I know
was shocked.
Andrew has not seen this yet.
Yeah, I was shocked when you sent
So I like
this
this,
in.
and I don't believe that Gunnar has seen it either.
So we'll get their reaction and yours as well. But first, let's check our text line on questions for football guy Andrew. What do we have there, Begon?
We got our guy Karate Mark checking in saying Jordan Davis was projected to be bigger, badder, better than all opponents. Looked great as a rookie. Seemed like he died off a little since. One, am I wrong on my initial read on him? And two, where do you see Jordan Davis's impact this coming season?
Well, I think Jordan Davis has actually gotten better. I think he's improved, and the Eagles certainly believe that he will, especially when you look at how he ended last season, right? He had a sack in the NFC title game. He had a sack in the Super Bowl. Is he going to be someone who's going to give you 4 or 5 sacks? That's probably not in his wheelhouse, but he is somebody who can push the pocket. He does do a lot of things that don't manifest on the box score, and what I mean by that is occupying blocks, and so that someone like a Zach Bond or last season the Kobe Dean or Jahad Campbell this year, they can kind of roam free and clean things up. So I think that the Eagles and Jordan Davis are really, banking on a big season here, and he's in great shape, and he's another year into Vic Fangio's system, so I think you have to feel pretty good about it.
I disagree with his assessment, though, that the first year was the best year of Jordan Davis.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, that's
I think that's crazy.
I think he's gotten better, and look, he played – the most snaps he's played in a regular season were 45%. That's going to have to exceed, go up a little bit more because obviously you have to atone for the loss of Milton Williams. Right. Moro Ojomo is going to be the primary beneficiary, but they're going to have to need Jordan Davis to elevate.
Now, maybe in perspective, because remember, first year Jordan Davis did not have Jalen Carter alongside him. Maybe he stood out more. And I know Fletcher Cox was on that team, so it's not a perfect example. But I'm just trying to figure out why somebody would have that perception that his first year was his best. Maybe Karate
looked
Mark
good for a
is
while.
like looking at Jalen Carter is like, wow, he's just completely dwarfed Jordan Davis right off the rip. And Jordan Davis looked better before he got here by comparison. But it's not fair to compare other young defensive tackles to Jalen Carter. That dude is a beast.
Monster. He's a monster.
What is this on the betting odds for Jalen Hurts' passing yards?
I want to ask all of you right now. Jot me down a number. There are 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Where do you believe Jalen Hurts in Las Vegas is listed of having the most passing yards in the NFL next season? How many starting quarterbacks? There are 32 listed. Do you believe are listed ahead of Jalen Hurts that they believe, Vegas believes at the end of the year will have more passing yards than him?
I'm just going to say 4 because the reason why you're asking this question suggests to me that it's either at the top end or the back end.
So you're going to go 4.
Now, where I would think personally is probably about 16, right? Middle of the pack, because he's a better quarterback than that, but his numbers have been more middle of the road when it comes to passing yard compilation.
Where do you go? We have a 4, we have a 16. Gunner?
I mean, I was trying to list them down, so I'm going to go 11.
What if I told you 24 quarterbacks are listed ahead of Jalen Hurts?
Wow.
24. I'm going to quickly go through them. Burrow, Prescott, Goff, Mahomes, Mayfield, Purdy, Stroud, Penix Jr., Josh Allen, Matt Stafford, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, Geno Smith, J.J. McCarthy, Tua Tagovailoa, Caleb Williams, Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold, Bo Nix, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson.
And that is for passing yards.
At the end of the year.
On the season.
More passing yards than Jalen Hurts.
And this was a serious.
This is betting odds. You can bet it today. Like, the thing is, though, that's just the odds of who will have the most passing yards at the end of the year. Jalen Hurts has worse odds than them. They have better odds to have the top passing yards in the NFL than Jalen Hurts.
So you mean to tell me he has worse odds than J.J. McCarthy?
Yes. It's not even close. By the way,
what are we doing here?
The J.J. McCarthy thing's going to drive you crazy. J.J. McCarthy's 28-1. Jalen Hurts is 100-1.
Jeez, give me a break.
To have the most.
The only thing that says is people have this abundance of confidence in Saquon Barkley being a huge part of the Eagles' offense. But we've talked about it multiple times on this show. The drop step that is taken by 2,000-yard rushers in the NFL, that is historical data that has not been disproven. We'll see if Saquon can overcome that this year.
Now, it can be anywhere in the range of 12% to like 40%.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it can be crazy.
So it might not be terrible, but we expect Saquon to take a step back, and we also know there's a lot of wear and tear there. If anything at all happens with Saquon, now Jalen Hurts is going to become a primary pass-first quarterback in the best offense in football. Like, how is he possibly 25th in that ranking?
It doesn't make any sense. Look, I expect there to be an uptick in passing yards this season for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, we have no idea what this offense is going to look like, and we really won't until week 1. It's hard to glean much in training camp and in the preseason. They're not going to unveil a ton, but I have to think that now you're getting the pass game coordinator overseeing things as the OC, and you hear the word evolve thrown around quite a bit. That suggests that you're going to see an uptick in the passing game. And I think that for this offense to really hit the next step and take that leap forward, you have to, and to maximize the offensive weapons that you have. And so that's why that, to me, does not make a ton of sense.
I almost want them to go at this point like 70% passing, 30% rushing, just because of that. Like, I almost want them to say, screw winning football games, screw everything. We're just going to show that we can throw the football and that Jalen Hurts can do this. It's dumb, and it's this like point of pride, but it's crazy to me that's the perspective on him.
I think it's almost a backhanded compliment to Saquon.
It is
how I'm looking at it, is that the odds makers don't believe that Saquon is going to have that drop off. And by the way, there have been a lot of players in more recent history that have had huge years that have followed it up with a huge year. Maybe not the same, but really, really close, that they're thinking Saquon is strong. So it might be more of a compliment than it is a detraction, but I'm dying to see the offense evolve. So I want to see When you have all these weapons, I want to see more evolution of it. And I think we heard frustration last year from A.J. Brown, and I think that's where some of that friction was coming from. He wanted to see the passing game. Where do we have to get better? The passing game. So I hope to see it.
A.J. Brown, in my opinion, is the best wide receiver in the NFL. And I've been asked the question, who do you think is really going to be the standout, A.J. or Saquon? Well, I think they're both going to get theirs, but I think A.J. Brown is going to have a season that's going to kind of put him in the conversation for Offensive Player of the Year. I really do think he's going to take that step. One of the best receivers that I've seen play. He can do it all. He's a 3-level threat. He's extremely physical. He'll block. He'll mix things up in the running game. I just think he's primed for a really big year.
Now, if you want to make money on this, here's a little thought that I've had. You guys tell me if this is a crazy way to go about it, because I don't think in any world Jalen Hurts is leading the NFL in passing yards this year. Like, there's just too many options for the Eagles offense, and they won't be pushed enough in games in order to do that. That could be another part of it, that they see the Eagles as a great team, and they're going to be running out the clock, so Hurts is playing 3 quarters while some of these other guys are playing 4. But if you think the Birds' offense is going to get off to a solid start, maybe take that 100-1 as a future cash out and just have him, if he's in like the top 5, those odds have got to get better, and then you just cash that out like week 4 or 5.
Seriously, what happened to him? Gunn, what happened to him? When I was, like, we've been apart for a little while, and all of a sudden,
he's getting his sleep. He's not pulling out his hair.
He's not getting sleep this
Connor.
week. You're spitting wisdom. He's
I'm
just
proud of
like
Connor,
like
man.
he like.
Thank you, guys.
I know, but
feel the love.
I've seen enough of the soaps where like the evil twin takes the place of the twin because Connor's so nice. There's
Connor,
an evil
Connor
twin.
and I don't know anything about the soap operas.
There's
Neither
sometimes
does
an
Big
evil,
Gun, but
sometimes an evil twin takes the place of the good twin, and then you start to notice these little subtle differences.
I think what it is I'm in here, so the glass isn't blocking us, so you can actually
That could
hear me
be.
clearly.
I'm
I've always
hearing
been
these
this
great-
smart. Now
this
I'm
is
just
very
right next
insightful.
to you.
It's very insightful. Like I love that idea.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
a good
that
way,
idea.
good way to make a quick
And
buck
I keep
if it
my
does
free.
play out.
I keep my free bets on the Bet Parks app, but I always use them. I use every one of them for futures bets,
So-
and that might be one to fiddle around with.
We'll see if you still think I'm smart after this next conversation we have. And
Probably
remember,
not. If I was on the Bet Parks app, I'd bet no.
You can get your questions in for Andrew DeCecco on the
That's a
phone line
futures
and
bet
text
I know
line,
I
by the way,
cash.
at 610-632-0975. I saw an ESPN ranking of wide receiver, tight end, and running back groups, right, all together. So basically the skill position players on offenses. No surprise where the Eagles rank. But it has me asking a question to you guys coming up next about the offense and the job that both the quarterback and the offensive coordinator have to do this year. We'll talk about that next year. It's Kincade Salciunas. Andrew DeCecco in with us till the end of the show here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
We want to hear from you, so text us at 610-632-0975.
You text every day, so why not text us?
Your opinion matters. Shoot us a text at 610-632-0975.
Don't want to call? You can always text us.
You've got our direct line, so text us anytime.
On a plane? Text us. On a train? Text us.
At the game, text us.
Driving a car? Yeah, pull over, then text us. In a bar? Text us.
610-632-0975.
97.5 The Fanatic. You know, when you're buying a diamond, it can be intimidating because, guys, you know nothing about diamonds, right? And you only buy a diamond a few times in your life. But when you buy the diamond for that engagement ring, you want to get it right. And that's why I send you to Benari Jewelers in Exton or Newtown Square, because this isn't like buying a big screen TV. It's not even like buying a house, because this is something that is going to be part of your lifetime commitment. It's going to be something that we just celebrated a 23rd wedding anniversary the other night. I see it on my wife's hand all the time, and you don't want to end up with an overpriced, cloudy, inferior diamond. You're only going to get the best when you shop at Benari. And you may be, like me, when I was buying a diamond, or now when I buy diamond jewelry, you always feel like, well, I just want one of the experts to pick it for me. And they can do that, but they'll walk you through the process. They look at hundreds of diamonds, and they only choose 5 or 6 of them to put in their showcases because they're very, very picky. When someone wears a Benari diamond, you're going to know it from across the room. It's going to look gorgeous. It's going to have a special kind of brilliance, and it's going to be exactly what she deserves. Now, I've already sent my wife in. I said, look, go start your wish list. She's got a birthday in September. We got Christmas coming up with the holidays, so check out Benari Jewelers. Drop me a wish list, put like 4 or 5 things on it. You'll never know what you're going to get, but I know what I'm going to get. Great value. She's going to get a great gift. I'm going to get the smiles and the benefits. Exton and Newtown Square, it's Benari Jewelers. Check them out. Tell them John Kincade sent you in.
I'm Mike Quick, former wide receiver of the Philadelphia Eagles and now color analyst for the team.
This year, TripAdvisor named Philly one of America's top destinations. Well, that's something I've known for a long time. When I retired as an Eagle in 1991, I could have moved anywhere, but I stayed here in the city of brotherly love, where I built my life and a second career. For me, it's the history, the people, and the passion that makes this place so special. That makes me proud to call it home.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you tried online gaming. Who knew 12-year-old boys could be so mean? And where did they learn to swear like that? 2 hours of losing to these underage trash talkers, and you're starting to question if maybe you really should stick to pickleball and other boomer stuff. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
It's time. Time for the pro to get everything for the job delivered. Large orders of lumber, doors, windows, paint, plumbing, anything the job needs, all from one partner. Get it today with same-day delivery. Get it tomorrow with next-day delivery on 50,000 plus products. Or get it on your timeline with scheduled delivery on everything from framing to flooring. It's time to get your whole job, all your jobs delivered. Ask about all our new delivery options at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
Philly Sports Tonight. Discussion on the big stories we've been talking about all day. Coming up tonight at 6 on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. This is Kincade and Salciunas. Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic.
So we know that the Eagles have a lot of talent at their skill positions, right? There is no doubt at all in that. They are the defending Super Bowl champions for a reason. The offense is stacked. So when I saw on ESPN the ranking of wide receiver, tight end, and running back groups for 2025, all of that together, so basically skill position players rankings per team, I had no doubts where the Eagles were going to be. Does anyone have a wild guess as to where the Philadelphia Eagles ended up on ESPN's list?
Where did you assume?
I figured they were going to be at the top.
I thought they were going to be in top 3 when I heard you say that.
Yeah.
Your preface of it, though, makes me think I'm going to be annoyed. And they're going to be, like, down out of the top 3,
I think
which they
they're
should
number
never
one.
be.
I think they're number one.
I'm hoping they're 1. I'm going to go 4.
Any thoughts here on their ranking? Running backs, wide receivers, and tight end group combined.
It's got to be 1 or 2, dude.
Who I'm interested, Johnny, who would even else be in the conversation with them?
Well, I think there's teams. I think people love the skill position of players of Miami. I think I always hear about Miami's skill position players.
But they just traded Jonnu Smith.
Yeah.
Jonnu Smith.
He had a good year last
year.
year.
A tight end that had been retired.
I don't exactly.
I forgot he was even in the league.
I'm not thinking, with that is a, that there's one there. I think San Francisco people will talk about, but they even now seem more dismantled, but more in the pits.
And their wide receiver room is much weaker without Debo.
Much weaker. Even though Debo, I don't know if he's bulked, he's fat, can't tell. They're complaining about that.
A lot of people think Fat Debo is going to be a thing this year. We'll see.
I'm going to tell you that somehow they're going to put the Eagles down on this list, and it's going to annoy me.
No, they put them at 1. They were the top team, so you will not be annoyed by this.
I cheated a little bit because Bill Colarulo told me yesterday.
Oh, yeah, he did. So you already knew. Come on. Well, that's because you do.
Is this a Barnwell list, or is this somebody else?
That's a great question.
Okay, but that's good.
I'll have to find two.
All right,
who
that's
put
good.
it together. But the point is not necessarily the Eagles' ranking. I think no one will argue with them being at number 1. Like, they are stacked at all of those position groups. But it got me thinking, right? So what is not mentioned in there? Quarterback and offensive line. And we know that the offensive line for the Philadelphia Eagles is damn near the best in football, if not like lock best in football. They're stacked. And we know that Jalen Hurts is the reigning Super Bowl MVP. So this
which is just
offense-
amazing to hear.
Yeah, are they top in everything? Like, are they the best in pretty much everything? If we're looking at the skill position as a group, the offensive line as a group, we know the quarterback can absolutely get the job done in the biggest spots. Everything is great for the Philadelphia Eagles offense. So does that make this, one, foolproof for the conversation we were just having about Jalen Hurts and the passing yards, the evolution of the passing game? We should expect that because they have everything they could have ever wanted. And for Kevin Patullo being able to take over as offensive coordinator, there is not a single damn excuse as to why this offense should not roll this year.
And I think they will early. You know, you saw last season the clunkiness of the passing game, and I think a lot of that had to do with a new voice in Kellen Moore trying to familiarize himself with that personnel. But this year, Kevin Patullo does know his personnel very well. More importantly, he knows Jalen Hurts very well. And because of all that, he already knows how to tailor an offense around his skill set, how to maximize an A.J. Brown or a Dallas Goedert or a Devontae Smith. So I think you will see a little bit more cohesiveness early with the passing game.
Now, I'm king of patience, right? And, well, we are co-kings of patience, you and me, Andrew.
That's
DeFranco.
right.
We fought that fight last year, and we may have to fight it again this year if
I'm
they
going to
start
fight
slow.
right now. I'm going to fight on this right now. After I just heard that from my man Andrew DeCecco. So I was supposed to be patient with a veteran offensive coordinator like Kellen Moore, who had 3 top 5 offenses on his resume coming into Philadelphia. And now I'm supposed to believe that Kevin Patullo, with no type of resume, comes in and he's supposed to be expected to just like sort of flip a switch and come in and be successful right away.
I'm not suggesting that.
My mind is a little cluttered.
But he's going to have a couple of months to iron things out. And a lot of folks aren't privy to the fact that last season he was very involved with Kellen Moore in terms of the week-to-week, day-to-day operation. So
what did that mean? Can you expand on that a little bit more? What does that mean?
How to conduct a meeting room, how to sort of the things that Kellen Moore was responsible for in his duties as an OC. And I think that he was able to kind of work alongside him. He was a sounding board for Kellen Moore. So it's not like he's stepping into this role completely green. I mean, this is his first year calling plays. I understand that. But I think that because of the continuity, you should feel a little bit more comfortable this time around.
Now, what I'll tell you is I'm still going to. New offensive coordinator, I'm going to keep the same barometer as last year, where I'm going to give them the first 4 weeks of the season for maybe some pitfalls here, some points where it looks a little clunky. I'm okay with that because last year I kept that mentality and I saw them win the Super Bowl in spite of a slow start to the season under Kellen Moore.
Just when you say that, mission critical game against Dallas, you can't lose in the division. Game at Kansas City, Super Bowl rematch.
Yeah.
Home game against the Rams, who many people believe could be one of the most dangerous teams in the NFC, or a team you want to have home field against in the playoffs. And then that trip to Tampa Bay where you've been punked.
Yes.
So those are 4 games you're like, I'm going to accept the clunkiness?
For the offense. Remember, I'm not talking wins and losses. We had games this past year, like the game in New Orleans against the Saints, where people lost their minds because the Eagles didn't score for like 3 quarters. And I was just like, at this point, you get out of there with a win. You go on the road against a team that's playing good football at that point. It might not make you feel good about where the team is, but you take the wins early. You expect them to figure this out over after the first month. So we need to win football games. But if the offense looks rough, I'm not going to nitpick at stuff as long as they're winning enough to keep themselves in the standing that we want them to. But I say all this to set up this question. If somebody's rolling into this season and their expectation is, whether it's total yardage, whether it's average points per game, they say, hey, with everything the Eagles have, and with another year of all of these players, and Kevin Patullo having already been in the building, this offense, by whatever metric you want to use as the all-encompassing metric of offense, has to be better than last year's offense. Somebody says that to you, because I kind of feel that way right now. Is that unfair of a bar to set?
I mean, better how? Last season's offense was very effective. They just won a different way.
Right.
I think you want to see a little bit more of a balance. I think that is the big discrepancy here. A little bit more passing game mixed in with Saquon Barkley just for preservation purposes, right? I mean, Saquon Barkley is going to have another big season, and he's very key to the Eagles' offensive success. But in order to evolve, you have to have more balance, and I think they're going to.
So let's say just points per game. Let's just use that as because how much you score offensively
does matter.
Yeah, that is a great indicator of whether or not you're going to win football games. They were a great offense last year, even though I think they left some stuff out on the table in certain games. Is it just too lofty of expectations? I'll ask you, John, for if somebody comes up to you and you dare say, or someone on our text line goes, the Eagles' offense better be more productive this year than they were last year. Do you call that person crazy?
Yes, because if you're talking about points per game, yes, because the competition is significantly raised. I say 27 is your target.
Okay.
If you can average 27 against that competition, that offense is done really, really well. I don't need them to be 30 points a game. Not against the teams they're playing, because if you score 27, this team's winning 12 or 13 games.
Yeah,
I really believe it.
27's a good barometer. With that, high-flying
really
defense that's going to fly around there and make plays, I think you feel good about that.
Should get the job done. Yeah, I just get the sense that people are going to expect a lot from this offense. I'm going to expect a lot from this offense, and I want to make sure that the bar is right because, hey, they could do really special things.
You're very concerned with bars.
I know. Always am. Well,
very concerned.
Yeah, we heard that about you.
They're a fun place. Or are we talking? Anyway. Coming up next. We're going to get some more questions for football guy Andrew. I got to ask DeCecco a question about if we get a sense that there's another move or two coming ahead of the start of the regular season. Because I'm kind of feeling like the Eagles are pretty settled. Is there anything we should be watching?
And why is he wearing long sleeves?
Huh. Maybe it's a little bit cool outside. It was
football
raining
guy.
last night.
Football guy stuff.
Yeah, he's trying to incept himself into football weather. We'll talk about all of this coming up next as we get ready to head into the 9 o'clock hour. Kincade Salciunas here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Walk-off heartbreak for the Phils. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies dropped the second game of their three-game series to the San Francisco Giants last night by a score of 4-3. The team entered the ninth inning with a 3-1 lead. Then came a couple of hits before an inside-the-park walk-off three-run home run by Patrick Bailey of the Giants on a crazy bounce on the right center field wall in the outfield. The Phils look to bounce back this afternoon after that wild loss as the final game of their series with the Giants goes down. Jesus Luzardo's on the mound. First pitches this afternoon at 3:45. The Sixers continued their summer league action last night with the 91-90 win over the Memphis Grizzlies. The Sixers' first-round pick, though, VJ Edgecombe, he was held out of a second straight game as he battles that thumb contusion. Considered day-to-day not that bad right now. We'll keep you updated on that. Summer league action continues for the Sixers on Saturday against the Charlotte Hornets. And don't look now, Eagles fans. We're 13 days away from the Birds reporting to training camp on July 22nd. This update was brought to you by Dairy Queen. Flying to DQ for a cosmic collision of flavors and their new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat for a limited time. And don't miss Superman in theaters July 11th. DQ, happy tastes good. I'm Brendan Gunn on the home of the Sixers and Flyers and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Hall of Fame sports writer Jason Stark.
Bryce Harper takes twice as many really hard swings as the average major league hitter. Do wrist issues go away for hitters like Bryce? To me, that's an area of definite concern. But the sense I get is this is now in Bryce's hands. How much discomfort or pain does he think he can handle?
Presented by Bet365. Every Wednesday at 11:25 on the Mike Missanelli Show. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
I love having a Bradford white water heater in my house. Why? Because I knew I was getting up this morning, was worried about my voice, but I knew I wanted to have a nice shower to wake me up and get me rolling. I also know that if we want to run the laundry, we want to do the dishwasher, we need dependable hot water. This past weekend, Liv had some of her girlfriends home for the weekend, and they were hitting the pool and everything, so it was everybody wanted to get a shower at the same time. And what do we have? Top performance from a Bradford white water heater. Super reliable, top performance year after year. And it's a local company. They know exactly what you expect for your home or for your business. Do you want a 25, 50, 75-gallon traditional model for your home? Or do you want one of their new Infinity tankless or Aerotherm hybrid heat pump models? One thing I do know is this. Getting yourself an energy-efficient Bradford White model is going to make sure that you're paying a lot less to heat up that hot water, so that way the water is constantly there for you, reliable day after day, and you pay a lot less. Find a plumbing professional near you. Go to BradfordWhite.com. They'll find the perfect model for you. You're not going to find it at the big box store. They'll bring it to you. They'll install it for peak efficiency, and you'll reap the benefits. It's Bradford White, because how you heat your water, it matters. Choose Bradford White.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Ugh, why does my bank always charge me fees?
That's because your bank is trash. Ever heard of Current? You could get a paycheck advance up to $750 if you qualify.
Wait, $750? Like before payday?
Exactly. It's your money, just early. Set up an eligible direct deposit, see if you qualify, and that's it.
So what's the catch?
No catch, no overdraft fees, no annual fees, and you can build your credit without falling into debt.
Wow, I needed this like yesterday. What do I do?
Text them. That's it.
To get started with Current, text free to 323232. That's free to 323232.
Banking services provided by Choice Financial Group and or Cross River Bank, both members FDIC. Paycheck advance provided by Fineco Advance LLC, a financial technology company, not an FDIC insured bank. Product eligibility, availability, and performance may vary and are subject to change at any time. Using your credit card responsibly may allow you to improve your credit score. For details on cost, terms, and conditions, visit current.com or call 1-888-851-3177.
Summer's heating up, and Wild Fork is your go-to for backyard cookouts and summer meals on the grill. Get grilling essentials like the hamburger bundle. That's 10 patties for just $10. Or pick up hot dogs and sausages starting at $4 per pound. Go big with a beef tomahawk steak, only $13.98 per pound. Or grab whole pork spare ribs for just $1.98 a pound. And don't miss Wild Fork's new kebabs, seasoned and ready for the grill. Shop in-store or online at wildforkfoods.com.
Injured, slip and fall, car crash, or work injury? Don't settle for less. You deserve a payday. With over 40 years of fighting and winning, Rand and Mike Spear, the accident lawyers, know what it takes to get you a big cash settlement. Don't delay getting proper treatment. Don't risk your settlement. Payday starts with one call. Demand Rand. 1-800-90-LEGAL. That's 1-800-90-LEGAL.
Wherever you are, the Kincade and Salciunas show is accessible. Did you know you can watch the show on YouTube right now?
You can listen to the show anywhere via 975thefanatic.com.
If you missed a show, then listen to the on-demand podcast or watch on YouTube.
And of course, we are live weekday mornings 6 to 10 on 97.5 The Fanatic.
All right, let's get another question for football guy Andrew DeCecco is in with us till the end of the show. I'm Connor Thomas in for Andrew Salciunas alongside John Kincade, Brendan Gunn on the board. And we've been talking a lot about the lead up to training camp with under 2 weeks until the Eagles report. And that is the point where it really starts to feel like football season. It'll still be July, but man, will it feel like August and September when we start to get that.
And it's early this year, which is great.
That's right.
I love that.
Can't wait.
The whole offseason's been cut down. I feel like the Birds played for a while this
Well,
year.
we're playing the Thursday after Labor Day.
Yeah.
So Labor Day's Monday. You play Thursday. This is the earliest an NFL season can start, is the 4th. Little NFL trivia for you.
Ooh.
It's the earliest date an NFL season can start.
Oh, love
Look
that.
at that.
Is
So-
the 4th.
And you played the
Next year
latest.
it's late.
You played the latest date of the season by winning the Super Bowl. So
There
we
you
really
go.
cut down on the offseason. Thank you, Philadelphia Eagles, for that, for giving us stuff to talk about and that parade to celebrate. So what do we have on the text line as far as questions for Andrew as we get this lead up to training camp? What are the people wanting to know?
No name on this one, first-time texter, but he says, "Hi, Andrew. How do you see Smile Mondin making an impact, especially with Nakobe Dean recovering early? And where does he fit in the linebacker mix with Jeremiah Trotter Jr.?"
Hello. Well, I think that Smile Mondin, I know this is going to be music to Brendan's ears. Brendan loves Smile Mondin. I think he's kind of going to slide in as the fourth linebacker right now, but somebody who I think is going to take on a very pivotal role on special teams, which is what he played. He played some of that at Georgia as well. And I think there's something to be said for experience, right? Because he was a 3-year starter at Georgia, and he's kind of built in the modern mold of today's NFL linebackers, 6'2", 224, can move really well. But the Eagles really like what they've seen from Jeremiah Trotter Jr., so I don't quite think that he's ready to kind of leapfrog him in the pecking order, if that makes sense.
Well, back when we were talking in the spring, when I called Andrew DeCecco, was the first one I got off the phone with, I got told that there were going to be two, when free agency was beginning, that there were going to be at least 2 dogs joining already the dogs we have here. And then after Smile got picked, I was told he was the one all along they thought would end up here. So he was somebody that they thought was going to end up here. So the Eagles had their eye on him for a while. And he has a DGD designation within the Georgia like program and fan base. There's dogs, and then there's the damn good dogs that when you're a certain level of accomplishment. He is a damn good dog, as they call him. And so I think people are going to be really pleased. But I love what you just said there, because he'll be fine with the versatility. He's a very versatile player.
He is. And actually, to kind of look at it, big picture, he was one of my favorite day 3 picks, period, because of the value and what I think he can become at the pro level. Now, there's a lot of players in front of him. I understand that. But I think that when you couple the athleticism and his ability to kind of maybe develop into a situational player, he also has Nakobe Dean there, his former teammate, who can kind of work with him and really develop him while Nakobe's sidelined. I think you should feel really good about that selection.
I'm glad the linebacker position was brought up there by our texter, and thank you for being a first-time texter, because that's going to lead into the question that I have for you today, which is about whether or not Howie Roseman has a move or two up his sleeve. And we're talking about a move of impact, not just like a camp body, no-name guy that you can get out there for reps. So I'll ask you that in a second, but I want to remind the people they're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, and WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios. We're powering possibilities. Is Howie Roseman going to make another addition or two to this roster between now and the start of the season? Like, what's your gut feeling? Because my gut feeling, when we talk to Adam Schefter, or when I read stuff online about what's going on with the offseason, I do not see the Eagles mentioned very often in any type of additions conversation. Though the linebacker position, if you look at it, let's say Jahad Campbell is not quite ready for the start of the year. Let's say Nakobe Dean, let's go worst case scenario, starts on the PUP list. Like, you are weak at that linebacker position, and we still have questions about the outside corner spot. So could there be another move coming for the Eagles, or do you get the sense they're pretty settled?
In my opinion, no. And I think, the Eagles really should, and I believe that they will, look and see what they have in the players that they've invested in. In Keely Ringo's case, this is now his 3rd season. You drafted someone like Drew Makuba in the 2nd round. So maybe see what you have there before you go outward and try to add another piece. Linebacker, though, Connor, is a light spot. They're razor thin there. But if Jahad Campbell, and I don't know if you saw the training video, I mean, it's got a lot of people intrigued.
I didn't. What was he doing?
He was getting some work in.
He seems a little ahead. More than a little ahead.
It would appear that way. But anyway, Vic Fangio gave him that timeline of sometime in August. But maybe he's been able to grasp things a little bit quicker, and all of a sudden you have Zach Bond, Jahad Campbell, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Smile Mondin, and then Nakobe Dean down the line. But it is a thin position. I think you need to add one before training camp just to add another body for rep purposes. But I think right now, I think the roster's settled.
What about your boy Ben Van Sumeren just being a linebacker fullback hybrid for camp?
He can do it. I mean, he has all the defensive installs, but I think that they like him as a fullback right now, full time. And I also have to say that the NFL, I don't know how often he's going to really be utilized. Maybe a handful of plays a game. We'll have to wait and see. But he's probably the most. I can say this confidently. He's the most athletic fullback in the NFL.
Ooh, Kyle Juszczyk might fight you on that one.
No,
but
he's more athletic than Ben Van Sumeren. Runs a 4.4 and jumps a 42.5-inch vertical. Was looked at to play baseball in college, played receiver in high school, set records, and he was a linebacker and a running back at different points of his college career.
Yeah, but Kyle Juszczyk's wife make those cool jackets out of the jerseys and everything. So you got to account for that in the conversation.
I didn't even think of that.
That's versatility in that family.
Athleticism, I didn't even realize that plays into it.
Johnny,
crazy athletic.
Yes.
Now, where are you at with it? Is there something that you're still pining for the Philadelphia Eagles ahead of training camp or even the start of the regular season? Or if they just stood still with the guys that they have at the spots they have them, are they good?
Well, I would love to have a veteran linebacker in here. I really would. I'd love to have one more body, but I trust exactly what. If Vic Fangio right now told me stand on the Commodore Barry, it's not that big a drop, John. It's not. Just do it. It's not that big a drop. I may be willing to try it. I have such trust in their judgment. And another thing where I'm going to do this twice today, where I will take the big L. I have such trust in how Nick Sirianni runs his camps. Because Nick Sirianni and I was a huge detractor, not once, but twice in his 4 years here, to his approach to training camp. He's proven me to be like, hey, John, pipe down. Go sit in the corner. I know exactly what I'm doing. I thought camp was way too soft. He's proven me completely wrong with that take. And so to me, they've gained such trust with me in Nick Sirianni's youthful new age thinking, in Vic Fangio's old school thinking, merging together and coming up with a great plan. If they say they don't need a body, I'm fine with it.
I'm going to be honest. I am going to miss a little bit the debate about playing time in training camp in the preseason.
I'm not because
I did enjoy that conversation.
I'm not because I'm tired of being stupid with it because it was and thankfully I dropped it. I only did it twice.
Yeah.
Because thankfully I was smart enough to get off the bus, but I still never just was willing. I don't do bandwagons because I don't think you really should be doing that. But I would go to me. That was, and I don't think it was a dumb take.
No,
because it was a take based on years and years of attending NFL training camps, and it was so foreign to what I've seen, but it's worked.
Yeah, at the time it wasn't crazy. I wonder how many people, and we don't have this answer now. We'll find out because people will lie to you and be like, "No, the Eagles can do whatever," and then the second there's an issue, they'll go back on it. And I'm not saying that's bad. That's fandom. We do that with every team in this city.
Well, I've already told you that I believe he better have a great year or a really good year. I'm worried about Cooper.
Yeah.
Come on. No, I'm telling you right now.
No, you should be.
Cooper, you should be. Come on, Andrew. Andrew, I've done this. Andrew, I've done this too long. If Cooper DeJean takes any kind of a significant step back or just doesn't look good in some significant games, this whole offseason is going to come back to haunt him. It will be a major talking point.
You had All-Pro and Hall of Fame linemen getting ripped for a Christmas album they recorded in the offseason.
Jordan Mailata, Jason Kelsey.
How'd they do?
No, I understand.
No, but that's not what we're saying. We're not worried about it. But
I'm not
what
worried
they're going
about
to get from the
He's
fan
going to
base,
get ripped for it.
Yeah, he will be a lightning rod.
He's going to be a lightning rod of criticism if he comes out slow.
You're assuming that he's not going to come out of the gate.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm saying.
But you said you're worried about him.
No, I'm worried if he doesn't.
Yeah, the margin
for
error for Cooper DeJean is very small.
Because
I get that.
The thing is, after 1 year, I would have had a much more low-key offseason.
I would not have. I can't.
I mean, I get where you guys are coming from, but I think he's going to be just fine.
No, I'm hoping he is too, but I don't have enough. There's not enough in the bank to know that he is, or to believe that with 100% confidence that he will.
That's fair, but there's also not enough evidence to suggest that he doesn't know how to handle success.
Right, yeah. We're not talking fair or unfair. We're just saying that with what he's done this offseason, there's going to be a lot of eyes on how he plays this year. And there will be Jimmy from South Philly, a 60-year-old lifelong Eagles fan, who calls in and says he spent too much time down the Jersey Shore the second he gets burned on a route. And that's going to be part of the conversation.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of questions about it as well, but my answer has been very consistent. I would not worry about him. There's nothing to worry about until there's something to worry about.
Totally fine. Some would say it's not a problem until it's a problem, though. And that would be the guy sitting to my left. So there's two ways.
The truth.
The double-edged sword of that sentiment. Coming up next. Now, we have something that we're going to get a little bit away from the Eagles here, but I'm intrigued because I know, Andrew, you were in with Bill Colarulo when he had his pipe dream moment with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yes, I was.
And you were questioning why he felt that way. Well, John Kincade has for us some more numbers from our friends at Vegas. The betting line on the Sixers win total is out.
No Googling.
How confident are we on this that we can guess this one right? And how accurate is it? We'll talk about it coming up next here. It's Kincade and Salciunas. Andrew DeCecco in with us for the rest of the show here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Do you feel unfulfilled? Do your afternoons feel like Groundhog Day because you keep hearing the same old tired takes? Good news. There is a solution to your afternoon drag.
Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo. 1 4-hour dose every weekday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. will sharpen your mind, give you the knowledge you need, and add that boost of energy needed to make that drive home.
Just turn the dial. It's that easy.
Make the switch. Unfiltered. Weekdays at 2 p.m. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. For fans of all ages, if you have a sports talk radio problem, call 610-632-0975.
Are you in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s? Do you make good decisions with your money? Have you planned right for your retirement? If you can't answer any of those questions for me, then you might need to talk to Dan White & Associates. In fact, I would tell you, it'd be a great decision to talk to Dan White & Associates because they've been in business for like 4 decades. And what do? They help you stress test your current retirement plan if you're further down the road, or they help you find certainty in your financial future by creating a great money management plan from the very beginning. They address each client's unique needs individually, and they take a different approach. They educate their clients on their retirement planning, and I love it. They're going to help you find certainty. They're going to help you feel relaxed about it, and a discussion about money never is comfortable. But once you get into it with my friends at Dan White & Associates, you're going to feel more relaxed about where you're going. You might tweak a thing or two, but you're going to know that you're on the right track. They offer you a complimentary, no-risk consultation. Check them out, danwhiteandassociates.com. Don't worry about scribbling down a phone number. Just go to the website and then get in touch with them. That's danwhiteandassociates.com.
With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and advanced fiber solutions, Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. Powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through July 21st, new customers can get started with 150 megabit internet for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card. Call today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Other restrictions apply.
Ever find a deal so good you think, should I tell my friends or keep it to myself? That's Kohl's Summer Cyber Deals. Styles for sunny days, home favorites for your space, and more. All at prices you'll love. Plus, earn Kohl's Cash, discover new deals daily, and get free shipping. These deals are too good not to share, once you've stocked up first. Shop Kohl's Summer Cyber Deals now. Select styles, some exclusions apply. Offers end July 10th. See store or kohls.com for details.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
What's the best place to shop this summer? Macy's. It's our first ever Star Deals Week. 6 full days of store-wide savings on everything you want. From shorts and swim to fine jewelry, all up to 50% off. Plus, home updates from Hotel Collection, Green Pan, and more, up to 60% off. Not only that, shop Macy's.com for new flash deals every day that everyone will love. No membership required. So don't miss Star Deals Week and Sunday at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Mike Missanelli and Ray Dunn. They have a lot to say about Philadelphia sports. The big stories you want to hear about. The Mike Missanelli Show, weekdays 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Philadelphia's source for breaking sports news. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. This is Kincade and Salciunas, Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic.
The final hour of Kincade and Salciunas is presented to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to Bagster.com.
All right. Well, we have a little bit more on some betting lines from our guy John Kincade here coming up in this segment. The Sixers win total. We're going to give you what Vegas has them at.
Slightly obsessed.
Slightly obsessed?
Slightly obsessed.
With what, the Sixers or Vegas?
No, I'm in Vegas. I mean, I've been in let me see, I've been in Parks. Been in Parks over like in the past month. Then we were down the shore when I was at Borgata. And then we were for the Flyers draft.
Yeah.
And then I was over at the Hard Rock for the Flyers draft. So I've been in quite a few casinos lately.
See, the Vegas thing is tricky to me, right? Because as much as it is this idea of consistency, they don't build those casinos by accident. They get them right a lot more than they get them wrong. Some people do treat it too much like a perfect science to me, where it's just like, okay, this is the line. This is what it should be.
They're trying to get people. They're baiting them
both
into
sides.
action.
But there are times where they just flat out miss. So it's not exactly law, but it is.
How about this? On wins and
very
losses.
accurate.
I'm going to give you this one. On wins and losses, MGM Sportsbooks out of Vegas on the Strip. If you just take the win-loss totals, missing by more than 2 in either direction, the worst they've done is, I believe, is 1 year they did 6 in the past 10.
Yeah.
And that year, people got fired.
Yeah, I'm talking about
like guys who did the work got fired and got cleared out. There was a year recently They were within 2 on either side of the number. They were within 2, except for 3 teams.
Yeah. No, they nail them way more
lot.
often.
Yeah,
I'm just saying there are the one-offs where they'll miss something by like, especially with the NBA
there are a lot.
or
Yeah,
MLB,
it
where
happens.
they'll miss something by like 10.
MLB and NBA, it happens because
there's just so many
there's
games.
catastrophic injuries.
Yeah, in football, they've got it down to a science. But we'll get to that in a second.
Sure.
By the way, Andrew Salciunas, who you normally hear on the show, he's out this week for vacation. He will be back
enjoying
on
it.
Monday. I'm Connor Thomas filling in. And we also have football guy Andrew DeCecco with us. So let's go back to the text line real quick before we get these Sixers numbers, get another question ahead of Eagles training camp just 2 weeks away for football guy Andrew.
We got Jamal in West Philly checking in, saying, will rookie Ty Robinson, the vanilla gorilla, eventually replace Jordan Davis, whose contract is coming up, or does JD get that extension?
Okay, can we correct this right away? If you say gorilla, you have to make the word rhyme with it. He's the vanilla gorilla.
Right.
So you have to say it that way.
Why do you have to say it that way?
Because it has to rhyme, or it's not the nickname.
Did you not say it that way?
No, we didn't.
Vanilla gorilla.
Vanilla
I heard
gorilla. Has to,
Okay,
is that go back and play?
I thought he was just a big white guy.
Anyways,
he is a big white guy.
Anyway, thanks for the text in, Jamal. I appreciate it. And the answer to your question, at least from my vantage point, would be they're not. They play different positions, so I don't know that he can fulfill the Jordan Davis role. I think Ty Robinson this year he's sort of equipped to do what Moro Ojomo did last year. And I think best case scenario, he's probably a third defensive tackle in the rotation, but a highly effective one. I think he has a multifaceted skill set that can play against the run and can rush the passer a little bit. But I don't know that he's equipped to be a starter, if that makes sense.
So what's the role, if we had to put him in the role of someone from the 25 team? Is he this year's like Moro Ojomo?
I think so. And if you look at it in terms of snap share percentage, Moro Ojomo played 37%, which comes out to 388 snaps. And I think that for a rookie, that might be a little bit lofty. So maybe a little bit
like 300 snaps.
Yeah,
maybe out of him?
I think that's a fair expectation.
Okay.
Or a fair barometer of what we can expect here.
I mean, he's a fun, intriguing player. So it'll be fun to see what he turns into. There's also, in a good way, not a lot to be expected from him because you have Jalen Carter and because you have Jordan Davis, and like we'll see how that all plays out. But shouldn't be an impact guy unless things go terribly wrong.
Right.
Maybe can make an impact in smaller circumstances. Real quick before your Sixers point, we have something else on the Sixers because we brought up a good nickname there, Vanilla Gorilla, for
Very good.
For our guy there, Ty Robinson. We made an executive decision yesterday when you were out, Johnny.
Oh, really?
That we have
Without the 2 guys whose names are on the show?
Absolutely, we took over.
What's it now? Is it Gunn and Thomas?
Yes.
Did I missed this?
We put in a memo.
Tommy Gunn.
Tommy Gunn?
I don't like either of those.
Rocky 5.
But I do like this nickname for VJ Edgecombe. I'm not sure if you guys saw this yet. The people are calling him the Generator.
I don't mind it.
I think it's an awesome nickname.
I'd rather see, let me see, before we get to nickname, can I see regular season?
Oh yeah, sure. But
I don't want to, no preseason
summer league?
nicknames. Yeah. No summer league nicknames.
Here's the thing. You got to get in on it early.
No, you don't.
You do. You
No,
guys,
let's see some
guys take
performance
claim
first.
to it. Now, we didn't come up with it, but we did say we really like the nickname the Generator.
I do like it if he earns it.
The story that his mom and him lived off a generator in the Bahamas.
I love it.
He creates energy
Inspiring.
for the team.
I love him. I love everything about his story. But it is going to be about the basketball.
Yeah.
The stories are great. It's going to be about the hoops.
28 in his summer league debut. You're not ready for the Hall of Fame yet for VJ Edgecombe?
And by the way, I said to you off the air, could ESPN spend a little money on the summer league broadcasts? It's like watching the Blair Witch Project. I mean, honestly, I expect to see Wayne's World.
Yeah, it's a Mickey Mouse. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Summer basketball.
No,
baby.
it is Mickey Mouse. They should be able to pay more for it. It's Disney.
So does that guy we were just talking about, VJ Edgecombe, and the rest of the Sixers, do they have a good win total set for them by Vegas this year? What do we got on that, Johnny?
I'm asking you guys right now, write down the Eagles, write down the Sixers win total, the over-under in Vegas, that you can bet right now. Sixers win total. There's 82 games. What's the Sixers over-under win total set at?
I'm going to go with 46.5.
Okay, Connor goes 46.5.
44.
44 flat, or do you go
44 flat.
Okay. Gunner?
I'm looking at the standings from last year. Last team that snuck in had 40. So people are arguing the Sixers have a chance. I'll say 47.
You go 47 and a half. How about if I told you if this was the Price is Right, I would be telling you,
All three of us?
You've all overbid. You all got to go lower.
37.
Okay.
And a half. 37 and a half.
Connor.
Can't be much lower. 41 and a half.
Okay. Andrew DeCecco came really close. I should
I'll
have
just
even
hit him
given it
right
to
in the
you.
middle. I'll go 40 and a half.
Andrew had it really close. It was the number's 43 and a half. The number is down 8.
So that's a
from last summer.
Play-in tournament team from
They're
last year.
they're an 8. They're a 8 or 7 or 8 seed.
I don't
what
think
they're
that's
predicted
unfair.
to be.
Yeah, last
They're-
year
they're
the
down
6 seed
8.
had 44 wins.
They're down 8. They're down 8 from last summer. They're down 10 from 2 summers ago. So, which is where I say to you, the 76ers optimists, those who are doing the Sixers are, the East is wide open and the Sixers are right in this thing. Oh my gosh. No, they're not. No, they're not. Stop. They're not. You've seen with your eyes. You know the history of the players. You know the injury history of the guys. Well, the Sixers should be a playoff team with who they've got. Should be. But stop with this East is wide open stuff. Stop with this. Yeah, they're right there for the taking. Stop with their like a top 3 seed stuff. 43 and a half. They are behind like everybody.
I'm going to disagree with not only your premise, but Vegas coming up on the other side.
Interesting. Okay.
Because of what we already know and don't know about the Philadelphia 76ers.
Good.
We're also
I gotta
going
hear
to
this.
do
I gotta hear it too.
this fun
Got a lot to say.
crossover. We're going to take this Dombrowski-Thompson conversation that we had earlier. I'll reset what it was for you, Andrew, in case you weren't listening at 6. We're going to turn it into a split Eagles-Phillies topic coming up next as well. It is Kincade Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Well, that was a terrible way to lose last night. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies dropped the second game of their 3-game series to the San Francisco Giants last night by a score of 4-3. They entered the 9th inning with a lead 3-1, but then came a couple of hits, and then an inside-the-park 3-run home run by Patrick Bailey of the Giants on a crazy bounce off the outfield wall in right center field. The Phillies look to bounce back today, no pun intended, from that wild loss this afternoon in the final game of the 3-game series against the Giants. Jesus Luzardo's on the mound. First pitch is at 3:45 this afternoon. The Sixers continue their summer league action last night with a 91-90 win over the Memphis Grizzlies. Sixers first-round pick VJ Edgecombe was held out for a second straight game, though, as he battles that thumb contusion. Still considered day-to-day. We'll keep you updated with that. Summer league action continues for the Sixers on Saturday night against the Charlotte Hornets and their summer league squad. And don't look now, Eagles fans, we're just 13 days away from the Birds reporting to training camp on July 22nd. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Vacation? Business trip? Don't worry. You can still hear all your favorite Fanatic shows no matter where you go. The 97.5 The Fanatic app. Philly sports in the palm of your hand. Listen to our 24/7 live stream. Get up to the minute Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, Flyers, and Union commentary.
Head to Google Play or the Apple App Store now and download our free app.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
Philadelphia, Radnor, Allentown, and Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Michelle Ferreri, licensed in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Summer's heating up, and Wild Fork is your go-to for backyard cookouts and summer meals on the grill. Get grilling essentials like the hamburger bundle. That's 10 patties for just $10, or pick up hot dogs and sausages starting at $4 per pound. Go big with a beef tomahawk steak, only $13.98 per pound, or grab whole pork spare ribs for just $1.98 a pound. And don't miss Wild Fork's new kebabs, seasoned and ready for the grill. Shop in-store or online at wildforkfoods.com.
This is Secret Clinical dominating extra stinky stress sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave.
Oh, what a beautiful day.
This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT. Because nothing fights sweat better. Stay fresher under pressure.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
35% of crash deaths in Pennsylvania involve drivers under the influence. Drunk, high, buzzed, wasted. Whatever you are, don't become a statistic. Make a plan to get home safe. Designate a driver, ride share, or stay the night. Be safe, PA. Visit pendot.pa.gov/safety for more. Substance use disorder treatment is available. Call 1-800-662-HELP or find a treatment facility at treatmentatlas.org.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Guys, baseball's in full swing, but if you're striking out in the bedroom, it's time to talk. This is Dr. Avidan Appel from Iron Mountain Men's Health. We specialize in treating erectile dysfunction and low testosterone with personalized, effective care. Over 95% of our patients see real results even when other treatments haven't worked. Feel stronger all season long, in the boardroom, the bedroom, and on the field. Step up to the plate. Visit IronMountainMen'sHealth.com. Iron Mountain Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health.
When breaking sports news happens in Philly, we have you covered. Live updates, press conferences, insight, perspective, and your reaction. This is 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. Coming up at 10, Mike Missanelli. This is Philadelphia Sports Talk with Kincade and Salciunas. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Now, Johnny, not only do I think the premise is wrong for that Sixers line conversation that we just had, I think Vegas is wrong, at least in the way that we framed it about the Sixers having a chance in the East. Now, before anyone thinks that I'm going Bill Colarulo pipe dream on this, shout out to Unfiltered. Check them out 2 to 6 today and every weekday here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Sleeveless has been great. It's been a great show.
Yeah, they're having a fun
time. It's fun to
there.
listen to. It's a lot of fun. I like it when DeCecco's on too.
Hey, thanks. I'll be on today, 2 to 6.
Okay, so you can hear DeCecco again later on today as well.
Isn't that great?
Another reason to tune into our wonderful afternoon show. But here's what I will say, right? The idea of the Sixers potentially being a viable option in an open Eastern Conference, I don't think is refuted by that line of 43.5 win total. Now, if you look at them on that line, that is not nearly good enough. And if you believe that is where the Sixers end up, that is probably more close to what the reality will be. I'm not here to tell you they're going to win the East. I'm not here to tell you they're going to be a top 3 or 4 seed. You can't say any of that right now. But there is very little that is certain in the Eastern Conference right now. The Knicks are probably still going to be good. The Cavs are probably
still probably going to be good.
Yeah, I mean they have a new coach, so there's a question mark as far as that.
Every team you bring up to me, compare them to the Sixers.
No, I'm comparing them to who they were last year, what the Eastern Conference looked like. Because last year, Boston was the reigning NBA champs.
Right.
They were going to be a monster.
You think Boston's better than the Sixers today?
I do. I don't know.
I do.
Without Tatum and with trading all these guys, I don't know what Boston's going to be this year.
Okay. Do you think that Cleveland is?
I do. Yes.
Okay. Do you think that Indiana is? Even without
Halliburton and moving on from Miles Turner, I'm not sure.
The Magic.
The Magic is.
The Magic probably are.
You think Detroit is? Oh my gosh!
I think Detroit is.
Connor, they're one of the like most talented young rosters in the NBA right now. Very, very young.
Yeah,
very.
I got you. But I'm just
athletic.
saying, none of these are like playoff heavy.
Atlanta.
Playoff heavy.
Clearly better than them. Atlanta may be a top 3 team in the East.
But here's the thing with the Sixers that is part of the conversation every time we talk about them.
Don't say health.
The range of possible outcomes for this team is larger than most in basketball. If they do have, like, let's even go 50 games of Joel Embiid and Paul George, they could be a 50-win team. If they don't have those guys, they could be a 30-win team. There's such a range of viable options for how this season can go based on data that we don't have. It's injuries, which are very tough to predict, like the level of injury that's going to affect this team.
Then here's what I'm going to say. And I put it in our pre-show notes. That I want you and everyone like you in our business or in our fan base. I want you to go to your betting app of choice, and I want you to load up. Give me like 25, 30, 40 bucks. And I want you to bet the over today. And I want you to post it and show it. Show us this confidence and show us this faith that they're going to win 44 games. Show us the confidence and post it. Every one of you, if I don't see it on your timeline, I don't want to hear it because I'm hearing all this. Yeah, Sixers are viable. That is such a low number for viability. That should be that is a 2-foot putt, which, by the way, I choked on the other day in a golf tournament. Could have cost my team. Could have cost my team some cash potentially. You can miss it, the 2-foot putt. That's a 2-foot putt. 44 wins with all this. So I want every one of you that's going to preach this. Place the bet now while it's still really low, and then I want you to screenshot it, post your bet, black out your account number, but I want it on your timelines. If not, I don't want to hear about you in December or January going, I was telling you, because this is easy money. You're reaching into the collection plate you can steal today.
No, but I'm not.
Father Riley, I would never do that, by the way. I would not do that.
I'm not coming from a place of confidence, though. I said in there, they could be a 30-win team this year, right? If things go the way they went last year. So it's not a point of confidence. It's that it's the complete opposite. It's a lack thereof.
Well, then they're not. Then that means, by definition, what you just said, the Sixers are not viable as an Eastern Conference contender.
Right. What I'm saying is they are a mystery box.
No, they're not. But they're not viable contender. Then, if it's a mystery to you and you do not have any confidence because you can't speak to them in confidence, then they are not a viable Eastern Conference contender.
I'm with John on that one.
They're not. They're not. Like if a team is a mystery to you, then they're not viable.
What I'm saying is the range of outcomes for this team is so much larger than basically any other team in basketball.
Would you place that bet today?
You know what? I probably would, but it's not the point of the conversation. I'm not arguing that their win total should be higher than that. I'm arguing that nobody can know with the range of potential outcomes with this team, and that's a very, very tough line to set compared to other teams where you know what players are going to be there and you know who's going to be on the floor. That is my argument, is that the Sixers could have major upside and could have major downside, and that's why I think that's a very tough line to use. That's all I'm saying.
I'm telling you, the number's 43.5. Vegas is setting themselves up to take an entire bath. If the Sixers were in any way a viable team in the East, they've set themselves up to take a bath.
I think
on
44 is right on par with what I was expecting.
Yeah, wait, so I don't right there. You had the number correct.
I don't have heightened expectations for this season.
And it should be in that, by the way, that number, that 44 would get them into the play-in tournament. Since they've had the play-in tournament, place them in the 7th seed most years.
Yeah.
Right.
On average. So that is where they see the Sixers. So they're trying to say to you, they're trying to bait you. Are you above them or are you below them? I got to tell you, I don't know how anybody could, in any way with confidence, bet the over.
No, I'm just saying I have no idea what the Eastern Conference is going to be this year, which breeds opportunity. And I have no idea what the Sixers are going to be this year, which doesn't inspire confidence, but it doesn't to me say, okay, they're locked into this line. I would not be surprised if they missed that by 10 in either direction. And that's because this team has been so volatile with injuries. That's all I'm trying to say is it's very hard to nail down concrete, this is what this team is right now.
A lot of variance.
Exactly.
Yeah, and as long as we just don't have but I've heard definitive conversations from people, some even on this station. Like, I think Sixers could be like a top 3 team in the East.
Well, that's a joke.
That to me
I'm
is
like,
crazy.
where's it coming from?
That's a farce.
Like, where's it? Like, it's you have a disinterested player that came from out west in Paul George, more worried about his podcast and shutting himself down. Joel Embiid has
played 19 games last year.
And Joel Embiid does what Joel Embiid wants to do when he wants to do it. So I don't know what that's about. So I love the young players they've assembled.
Right.
I'd be thrilled if the young players they assembled got tons of playing time and we got to move on with this thing quicker. I really would.
I think they're going to get a lot of playing time.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Out of necessity,
I hope
if nothing
so.
else.
Because
Right.
I think Nick Nurse is a hell of a coach. And I believe if he gets, I would love to see what they could cook with. And I would be completely entertained if the team won 28 or 30 games and I saw the young guys getting tons of playing time. And I didn't get the slump shoulders from Tyrese Maxey that I got last year.
Yeah.
That I didn't like.
I feel you. My only argument is the volatility of the team makes it very tough to use the line as an indicator of who they're going to be. And I think Vegas is opening themselves, and they have to set a line, but I think they're open to a lot of risk on that bet wherever you think the Sixers are going to go.
It's health dependent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And that's a very tough. Now, some people will say that's easy to predict for the Sixers. They won't be healthy. But if we're looking at a single season, I think we are looking at a tough read based on a line when it comes to this basketball team, because there's a lot of stuff outside of the talent that will affect how many games they win. Now, this conversation we had earlier, we started the show, if you missed it, with a discussion on last night's Phillies game. The bullpen management was bad. The bullpen options were bad. And we were debating who you put more blame on, the manager, Rob Thompson, for the way that he handled the bullpen last night, or Dave Dombrowski for assembling a bullpen that has guys like Daniel Robert in a 2-run game in the 8th inning. And that, to me, was the bigger issue, was that they don't have enough bullets in the gun when it comes to the bullpen. Now, I want you to think about it this way, because we have Andrew DeCecco in, who covers the Eagles, does a great job. Let's imagine it was Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni, and we were having this conversation. Like, Nick Sirianni has very little to work with on offense, and he's not a specific offensive coach, so maybe it's better to use a coordinator. But we've had conversations in the past on Howie Roseman not giving enough to coaching staffs to work for, and he wore the brunt of that. Do you think, Andrew, if this was a conversation where, like, the defense was bereft of talent, we would look at the defense coordinator first, or would we look at Howie first?
Howie. You're only as good as the ingredients that you have to work with. And I think because of that, you have to look directly at the person responsible for acquiring talent.
Right, so if you go out in a game and you get waxed by a team, or the defense gives up a bad late score, and you look around the guys and you're like, half of these guys aren't NFL players. I'd imagine the Eagles fan base would first point to, and Nick Sirianni has had his moments in this town where this fan base has not been on his side. I think still in those moments, Howie Roseman is more of a lightning rod being the GM of that team. But there's something about this conversation where the Phillies fan base is split between Dombrowski and Thompson. I don't know if that says more about how they feel about the manager of this team, but I figure if this was an Eagles conversation, it would be heavily in favor of Howie Roseman being to blame.
Well, I think, too, is that one thing I do notice is when they go to Dave Dombrowski on camera, he moves. So I know he's awake. That helps a little bit. I know that I'll see Dave Dombrowski write something down or go on his computer. So I know that he's awake watching the game. He's there. I don't know. Sometimes I'm wondering, is Rob put the hand in front of his face? Want somebody nudging him? Give him something.
By the way, John, you have a nice little Michael Madsen thing going with the voice today. It's good.
It's real. Please, I wanted
Michael Madsen, one of my favorite actors.
Whatever it is, it's better than it was on Monday.
Better than it was on Monday. Crapped out.
We're glad for that, and we're glad to have you back. So we'll get some responses on that. You can chime in on the text line, 610-632-0975. Is it more a Thompson or a Dombrowski thing, the issues with the bullpen last night? And we're looking at that game specifically because the management of it was not great. And also, if you have questions for Andrew DeCecco, you can still get those in. We got the Key 3 coming up next, and we're going to take a look at the Game 3 of Phillies-Giants. Yeah, I know. You got to watch them again today. But,
man, they're starting during General Hospital.
Oh, no.
So it's good. It's good, though.
What a tragedy.
It'll be fine.
What a conundrum, John.
It is.
Well, it's going to be an important start.
Put the game on pause and then just catch up.
Because we're going to talk a little Jesus Luzardo coming up next and how big of a start this could be for him. We'll talk about that next here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The summer's here, and you know what that means. Engagement season. But remember, don't force it.
Don't tell your significant other something so ridiculous they almost feel obligated to engage and prove you wrong. Let it be natural. Let it be intelligent and entertaining. Let it be unfiltered. With Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo every weekday from 2 to 6 p.m.
Make the switch. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Nothing says summer like the taste of a classic Rocket Pop. And now it's at Rita's. New Rocket Pop Ice is a refreshing flavor inspired by the iconic red, white, and blue Ice Pop. Enjoy it in a Rocket Pop Ice Blender drink or stacked high in our 5-layer gelati for a burst of fun in every bite. Don't forget to add new firecracker glitter topping for an extra explosion of flavor. But hurry, Rocket Pop Ice is only at Rita's for a limited time.
Be cool, go to Rita's. Be cool, eat a Rita's.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is Secret Clinical dominating extra stinky stress sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT. Because nothing fights sweat better. Stay fresher under pressure.
Oh, I love this scene. Yeah, man. I bet we could pull off a street race like this. Dude, totally.
Hey, you know this is just a movie, right?
Whoa, what?
You try this in real life, you could kill someone, or even yourself.
Life's not like the movies. Avoid a life-changing consequence and slow down, because this is one disaster you can't outrun. Speeding catches up with you. A message presented by NHTSA.
This is Jordan Lundy of Lundy Law. Every year, millions of people are hurt in car accidents. The numbers are overwhelming. But if you're injured in an accident, don't feel overwhelmed. Call Lundy Law. We'll remove the stress and work quickly to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. We hope we never meet because of an accident, but if we do, we're here for you. Remember our name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit LundyLaw.com.
Hey, it's Ricky Bo. Come hang with me this Thursday, July 10th from 7 to 9 p.m. at Bistro on Bridge in Phoenixville. We'll talk all things baseball. We'll enjoy some ice-cold Coronas and give away great prizes, including tickets to sit in Ricky Bo's row. Grab $5 Corona Extra bottles and $5 Modelo Especial drafts while you're there. Don't miss the fun. Meet me and the Fanatic crew this Thursday at Bistro on Bridge, presented by Corona, the official cerveza of Major League Baseball.
This is Philadelphia's station for breaking sports news. Powered by Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com.
That's LundyLaw.com.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
This is Kincade and Salciunas, Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Aaron Nola is an ace.
Damn right he is. Maybe for his rehab start or whatever he's doing these days. It is Kincade and Salciunas. I'm Connor Thomas in for Andrew Salciunas. Andrew DeCecco with us for the remainder of the show. And John Kincade back. His voice starting to feel a little bit better today. We've been getting into a bunch today. Phillies and their rough outing in San Francisco last night. Andrew, did you stay up for that game?
I did. I did, and I don't quite remember a game ending like that. But
well, you don't really see the walk-off inside the park very often. That was a kick in the nuts right before you go to bed. It was awful, man. And I'm not really looking forward to that again today. 3:45 out there, or 3:45 here, whatever time it is out there.
Yeah, it's 12:45 out there.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
It's a 3 hours time difference.
I'm not great with the math.
You were doing so well today.
I know. We got
blew
close.
the perfect game in the 8th inning.
Oh, that's okay. Well, hey,
it's good.
Zach Wheeler did that, and he still threw the complete game, 12 strikeouts. So not bad company to be in. But we also have been talking a bunch of Eagles with training camp just about 2 weeks away, and we have some texts still asking you questions. So let's check in on the text line for questions for Andrew DeCecco on the coming training camp for the Birds.
All right, let me get one up for him. He says, Sean in Newtown's checking in with the low-key name on this one, but he says, what are your expectations for Trevor Keegan this coming season?
I love these deep-cut questions, Sean. This is the stuff that we need to be talking about. So Trevor Keegan, he played in one game last year, 35 snaps. It was in the season finale. Didn't even start the game, but he's a draft pick, and working in his favor is that he can play left guard, right guard, and he even repped at center in the Senior Bowl, so you like that interior versatility. I think best-case scenario for him, he kind of takes over the Tyler Steen role from last season where he's that reserve player at all, at left and right guard. But there's a lot of competition here with Kenyon Green, Matt Pryor, and other players, Darian Kennard, so he's going to have his work cut out for him.
All right. I mean, listen, I like it. This is very in the weeds football
stuff. The deep cut stuff is great, though, because you love it.
Well, I mean, look.
You put a smile on your face. You love it.
We can always talk about the top 15, top 20 guys, so often. No,
it's nice to hear some of these names.
These are the names that you're going to be seeing a lot in the preseason, and you're going to be hearing a lot because that's where the competition lies.
Right. Like, A.J. Brown's good. Saquon Barkley's good. Like, the questions with this Eagles roster, they lay in the margins, and that could be the difference between a good postseason football team and a Super Bowl repeating champion. And we'll see how that plays out over the course of the season. And really, football season begins when they report to training camp in 13 days. So right around the corner. Baseball season has already been rolling, though, and we also have some texts on the Phillies and their issues from last night and ongoing issues. What do we have on the text line on that?
Yeah, we got Zach in Florida checking in, and he's kind of hugging the fence on this one, probably rightfully so. He says last night was a scary sight because it highlighted the lack of talent in the bullpen, and it also highlighted the mismanagement. Good players can overcome, and good management can overcome, but I don't know how you overcome both when both are bad.
Yes. Now, here's what I will say. More often than not, Rob Thompson's not going to cost you baseball games. If you want to make the argument that last night he did, I'm not going to fight you on that because I thought it was poor management of the bullpen. But a manager, it's long been said, only affects an X number of games in a season, and it's minimal, is what they say about baseball. Now, there are things that Rob Thompson needs to do that may not affect the outcome of the game. Like we talked earlier about whether or not he should have fought more against Phil Cuzzy when he made those bad calls in Monday night's game. And I mean, I was absolutely on the same side as you were, Johnny. I think they needed to get somebody tossed there. I thought that was a terrible, terrible sequence of calls. So there's more to it than just that, but it is a tough spot if you're going to mismanage, and you also have a bullpen where there are guys that can't make up for mismanagement. You're up Blank Creek without a paddle.
I do want to just say, too, though, like you brought that up, in-game management, I think there's only probably, 6-7 games a year? I think you hear a lot where the manager directly affects you poorly, negatively, positive or negative in the column. Mm-hmm. And there are many things Rob Thompson does as a manager that are good.
Yeah.
That helps the team be a good team. But I think 90 wins for this team with a top 4 payroll, with everything, should not be like something you're like, that shows you got a good manager, man. 90 wins. 90 wins should be the floor of expectation.
Yeah. Right. Here's the other thing.
Seriously.
On the opposite side of that, it also doesn't show you have a bad manager. Right? That doesn't.
No. If you win,
middling.
No, but it's not. It doesn't mean you have a great manager because people. I keep hearing people go to me, the guy's won like 90 games. The guy is the team in first place.
Yeah, and they'll throw percentages at you and everything else.
What manager, how many managers do you believe in Major League Baseball could have this roster in first place in this year's National League East? The Mets have been ravaged with starting pitching injuries. The Braves have been just decimated. Their commodes are, not commodes, the Nationals are nothing. Come on, the Marlins? Why are you bragging? Like, why are people beating their chests like King Kong on this and saying, look at the great job Rob Thompson's doing? He's got a top 4 payroll.
Some of it out there does seem a little agenda-driven. I'll say that.
I think people have to keep doubling, pushing their chips in on I'm a Rob Thompson supporter. I'm a Rob Thompson supporter. But the thing is, he's not. He's done a lot of good jobs. I try to balance it. I can tell you this. I've talked to his players. He has a lot of supporters. He's got a lot of supporters.
Yeah.
And because he does a lot of things well. He creates a really positive work atmosphere, and that matters.
That
over 162, it matters.
That absolutely matters.
It matters.
Here's the biggest issue with any Phillies conversation. It exists with Thompson, Dombrowski, the players, the team in general. there's so much discourse that has just been every year exponentially grown by the fact that they've kept the roster the same, right? Dombrowski's been here. Thompson's been here. A lot of the players have been here. That there is now either Rob Thompson's the greatest manager to ever live or he needs to be fired immediately. Is like people have shifted more to the polls on every single Phillies conversation. It makes it very hard to have anything positive, and everyone thinks that you've got your eyes closed. Anything negative, and people think that you want everybody fired and kicked out of town.
And that's why you have to bring balance to the conversation.
Exactly.
Rob Thompson does a lot of things well. He does a lot of things, I believe, poorly. And in-game strategy, again, I wouldn't pick him in a game at Connect Four. I don't believe he's a strategist.
Yeah.
And he keeps showing it over and over again. I don't think he reacts in games. I think he stares off into space.
Well, 2 nights ago was egregious. You got to have your players back there. I mean, I don't want to relitigate it, but we talked about it yesterday on Unfiltered. You talked about it yesterday, Connor. I mean, you got to have a pulse a little bit. When Bryce Harper's looking into the dugout for support, as a manager, you have to step up and do something. Now, you don't have to throw a temper tantrum like Larry Boa or anything like that.
You must be heard from.
But you have to.
Yeah.
They have to. You got to be accountable. You have to stand up for your guys.
Yeah, we're all on the same page with that one. I thought, and I'm not normally a manager has to go do that guy. Monday night was one of those times where you had to, and they didn't, and that rubbed me a little bit of the wrong way. But when this Phillies conversation has been the same conversation for 3 years, people are going to double down on their side. They're going to shift further to the extremes. And it's going to lead to this crazy discourse that we now have around a really good baseball team that may not be good enough to win at all.
Right.
That is now either they stink or they're the best, depending on what perspective you have. Now, Jesus Luzardo will help us find a little more perspective on who exactly he is this year at 3:45 as he takes the mound against Justin Verlander. I think this is a pretty darn big start for Luzardo. It's his last one before the All-Star break, and that's kind of closing the door on a part of the season, even though it's not the exact midway point. If he goes out and he struggles today and his command looks a little bit sketchy like it has the last couple times out for him, I wonder how much people start to question his spot in the rotation, not releasing him or anything like that, but how confident you feel. So is this as big of a start as I think it is for Jesus Luzardo?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, because of the fact, too, what you did with Mick Abel, too.
With Abel, yeah.
Yeah, because
No, this is a huge start.
Mick Abel's worst start wasn't as bad as 3 starts that Luzardo has dialed up.
Yeah,
but Luzardo's body of work trumps anything that you've seen.
Well, yeah,
from
because he's
Mick
had
Abel.
so much really good stuff. But the bad starts, when he's the girl with the curl. When he's bad, he's awful.
Oh, I know.
Damn
I
right.
know.
Well, when we're good, we're great. And that's why we've got the best 3 minutes of today's show. The Kincade Salciunas Key 3 comes your way right now.
Now, the Kincade Salciunas Key 3. Today's best.
Last night, the Phillies take on the San Francisco Giants for Game 2 out there in the Bay Area. And it was a bit of a rough first 5 or 6 innings. The offense quiet again. And honestly,
the 0 for 24 finally ended with runners in scoring position, runners in stranded position.
Not before it turned into an 0 for 26. But yes, Otto Kemp with an RBI single. Kyle Schwarber hits one into McCovey Cove. And all of a sudden, you're up 3-1. Heading into the 9th inning with Jordan Romano trying to get a multi-inning save opportunity.
What was that?
Jordan Romano trying to get a multi-inning save opportunity.
Why would you do that?
Well, because...
Why in the world would you do that? Because I always get on the Phillies about the fact that they say one thing and they do another.
But let's go before the Jordan Romano thing, right? Let's go why they were in that situation, why Romano had to throw in the 8th inning. Because you have freaking Daniel Robert in a major league bullpen that is letting 2 guys on and getting himself into trouble before he can throw a competitive pitch. And then the guy that you probably wanted for the 9th inning for just 3 outs has to go in the 8th inning, right? That's the thing. Orion Kirkering aside, and you're not wrong, and I get it. And that's why this is a debate between Dave Dombrowski and Rob Thompson, because you can make that case. And there's very little about that I can fight you on. But what I can say is Romano's not going for a 5-out save if Daniel Robert was even remotely a major league caliber arm. And you have multiple non-major league caliber arms in this bullpen, and they're going to have to throw. But you want to bring up this conversation between Mick Abel and Andrew Painter.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot of, and read a lot of vitriol about, wow, this, good, get Abel out of here. Get him down here. He's a tomato can. He's done. Boy, he stinks. You know how Mick Abel's been better than Andrew Painter? Mick Abel's been better than Andrew Painter. And by the way, Mick Abel's been facing Major League pitching, and Andrew Painter has been facing AAA bats. Mick Abel, who everybody wants out of here and doesn't want to have patience with, and I made the case. I gave example after example of Hall of Fame. I only used Hall of Fame pitchers, rookie years, to show you that Mick Abel was trending ahead of a laundry list of them. I stopped the list where he was better than modern-day Hall of Famers, and he was having a better rookie year than significantly. I made a list. I stopped at 11 or 12. I cannot believe you are going to be one of these people. My ears are bleeding. What? You're trying to get Jordan Romano, the best closers in the game. I will guarantee you, the best closers in Major League Baseball. Not half of them have been asked to get 5-out saves this year.
I understand.
So you don't do it with a tomato can. So you're going to make me. You know what the doctor's going to do? He's going to text.
It's not my fault. You're making yourself angry.
The doctor's going to text. He's going to say, "Why are you? I told you take the steroids and don't raise your voice." Took a completely stupid risk. It's Jordan Romano. It was the stupidest risk. I'm always one of the worst closers in the game.
It's not the stupidest risk of all, John. He's your third or second best arm in this bullpen. Everybody else sucks compared to him on this team besides two other guys.
But you told me
and he's also bad.
You had Kerkering, who you said you were going to use.
And he tried to save Kerkering for today because you would have had 0 guys, and you would have been in the bullpen for the Phillies. And I don't want you pitching for the Phillies.
I want you to win the game that you had the chance to win.
I understand. And that's why you're
3-1 on the road.
That's why your argument is valid.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm on your side, but there's more to it than you're willing to look at.
No, not with this man.
I'm saying you're right, but there is another thought process to it. All right? He's not just shooting in the dark here, but he did make the wrong decision.
I'm just glad that he had some sort of, pulse. Got to check him.
There it is, the Kincade Salciunas Key 3, best 3 minutes of today's show. I do also want to tell you guys about our deal of the week because Sahara Sam's Water Park is a great place to be.
I could see you on all the slides.
Absolutely. Listen, I love a good water park. You can check out the Fanatic Deal of the Week. Buy 1 ticket, get 1 free for Sahara Sam's Water Park in West Berlin, New Jersey. Get this exclusive offer while supplies last at 975thefanatic.com/deals. We're going to be back tomorrow. Adam Schefter will join the show. Andrew DeCecco will be back in with us on Friday. But, Andrew, you're going to be on Unfiltered later today as well.
That's right.
So tune in for that. And
That's a good day. Hey, support life-saving cancer research. Win Donation made a donation to the American Association for Cancer Research, and you can too. Go to 975thefanatic.com/AACR because cancer research saves lives. It saved mine 3 times.
Absolutely did. A fun show. We'll do it again tomorrow. Mike Missanelli coming up next. And, man, I can't wait to hear Mike's reaction to what in the world went on in San Francisco.
Will he defend Rob Thompson today? Yesterday was critical. Is he going to defend Rob Thompson today? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think Mike's getting the whooping stick.
You'll find out coming up in just a couple minutes. The Mike Missanelli Show comes your way next year, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
I don't think I've ever seen a loss go down like that. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies dropped the second game of their 3-game series to the San Francisco Giants last night by a